now tuned in
You are now tuned into
to the realest show on YouTube with your host, the Angryman.
What's good? What's going on with everybody? We back in the building yet again with a bunch to talk about. Of course, let me start off the show with my typical monologue and get some things off of my chest. I told Anton I need to start timing myself so that I don't go over my time. But we got a lot to talk about. We're actually going to we got to talk about J. Cole and his recent run-in at the Tesla dealership. We got to talk about Sukiana and some of the statements she's made about her own music. Of course, we're going to talk about the Trump trial judge flagging the Facebook post that might lead to a mistrial if it's actually verified that what happened really happened. And then I got a special segment. I'm going to talk about why the boomers are so problematic for millennials and Gen Zs. You know, they've already done their damage to us, so it is what it is with us. But I want to talk about why the boomers are problematic. So make sure you stick around for the topics because we going to get into all of it. I think I want to start off the show by addressing the little individuals that love to come in here and say the things that they say about me, you know. What is the best way to address this in a positive way? So here's the thing that you don't understand about me, and you don't get it, right? And I get why you don't get it. A lot of you guys, you know, you never really came at, as far as I saw, you never came at Kevin like that. And I get why, because Kevin was, you know, very polished. Most cases when he did his show, especially at the height of it, he was in a suit and he was very serious, right? I joke around a lot and I am not as polished, and that is on purpose because that's just not my style. Even though I could be that if I wanted to. You need to stop taking the fact that I'm sitting here in a t-shirt and a baseball hat and cracking jokes and all of those different things as some sort of weakness. In other words, stop coming in here, making little goofy comments, taking me for a joke. In the days to come, and I think I'm probably going to start towards the fall of this year, I think I'm going to start on my second book. And I'm now more convinced than ever that I need to write this second book, because my second book is going to be about cultivating masculinity. Because quite frankly, there are a lot of you men, excuse me, I can't even call you men. There are a lot of you little boys that just don't seem to understand what it means to be men, or what it means to go on the journey of masculinity, because there's an old saying and it goes like this. When I was a boy, I behaved as a boy. But when I became a man, I put aside childish things. Okay. Now, some of you are going to come here and you're going to say, but Angry Man, you still wear baseball caps and t-shirts, because you associate that with childhood, you know, and I understand why. I've explained why. Or you're going to say, well, what about the figures you got behind you, Angry Man? And blah, 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 blah. Let me explain something to you. When you say when you were a boy, you behaved as a boy, or when you were a child, you behaved as a child, but when you became a man, you put aside childish things, it is not talking about what you do for a hobby. You know, there are people that ride bikes, you know, they mountain bike as a hobby. That's something you did as a child. There are people that play baseball, basketball, football. That's something you did as a child. There are people that play video games. That's something you did as a child. When it says you put aside childish things when you become a man, it's talking about your mentality. It's talking about whether or not you handle your business. It's talking about whether or not you actually move like a grown man, or do you run around here like a little kid trying your best to be as goofy as you possibly can be. See, in order for you to come in here and start taking shots at me about anything, right? First, you would have to actually have done more than I've done. Okay? So when you come in here and say, "Oh, Angry Man, you dressing like a kid," well, the thing about it is, now that I'm my own boss, I can dress the way I want to. But if I did want to dress in a more adult way, or what you consider to be an adult way, you know, I literally don't have any problem doing that. And if I did dress that way, I would most certainly dress better than a lot of you clowns, because you have absolutely no style. Now, in case you're trying to, you know, get an idea of what I'm wearing, that right there is a pea coat. You probably don't know nothing about that. I actually got two of them in my closet right now with the scarf, you know, looking real dignified, looking real freaking professional. You feel what I'm saying? So I've already been there and done that. Because I used to work in corporate America. A lot of you run around here bragging about the fact that you wear suits, but a lot of you wear cheap suits. And I can tell they're cheap suits. All I have to do is look at your lapel. I can tell instantly whether or not you spent some real money on that suit. So before you start running your mouth about suits and all of that crap, actually take your behind out in the world and get a real suit before you start running your mouth, right? Before you start running your mouth. For those of you, like I said before, that want to talk about people working out, you feel what I'm saying? Until you get some guns like that, until you actually able to get some guns like that, you feel what I'm saying? Some biceps, some shoulders, some traps. Until you can do all of that, I don't want to hear nothing you talking about. Because like I said before, I done been there and done that, right? I done been a street nigga. You feel what I'm saying? I done been a street nigga. So some of y'all run around here wanting to live that street life. You feel what I'm saying? Wanting to run around here, live that street life. Like, look, I done been there and done that. I've been there and done that. You feel what I'm saying? I done already did all of that. You feel me? Everything that you possibly could come in here trying to brag about, trying to make it seem like you the coolest dude on the planet. You feel what I'm saying? Your boy done been there and done that. You feel what I'm saying? I done been there and done that. there's a bunch of you that low key think that you're some kind of standout, you know what I'm saying? Some kind of damn superstar. You feel what I'm saying? And what you don't realize about me is at one point in my youth, I was a rapper. I done did photo shoots. You feel what I'm saying? I done did all of that. I done did all of that. I done drove fly whips. You feel me? I done drove fly whips. I done bagged motherfucking bad chicks. You feel what I'm saying? I done did all of that shit. I done did all of that shit. You feel me? I done did all of that. I done did all of that. I've been on some super fly shit. You feel what I'm saying? Even as a young buck. Even as a young buck. You know that's a young picture because I ain't got no tattoos in that picture. You feel me? Done been there and done all of that. So everything that you think about doing or plan on doing or whatever the fuck, like I done did all of it. I guarantee you there is no aspect of life as a young man that you have experienced or plan on experiencing that I haven't already experienced or done. Okay. But the thing about having all of those experiences, and some of them being really negative experiences, I survived it. And in surviving it, I gained perspective. You feel me? In surviving it, I gained perspective. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is I realized what's important in life. I realized what's important in life. And running around here trying to prove to everybody that you can crack jokes on people, running around here being a little knucklehead, running around here trying to be problematic for everybody. Yo, the only thing you're doing is you're wasting time. That's all you're doing. You're wasting time when you could be doing something so much more productive with your time. But instead of doing that, you want to be a jackass. Instead of doing that, you want to try to come over here and get on my nerves. And you don't even realize you're not getting on my nerves. You're not getting on my nerves. You're just making an ass out of yourself. You're just making yourself look stupid. And it's the same thing. It's a bunch of you dudes on the internet, and I get why you operate the way you operate, because there are certain content creators that you watch that, quite frankly, just they give you the wrong advice. They give you the wrong advice. They mislead you. They make you prioritize things that are not as important as you think they are. And unfortunately, even though there are a lot of guys that came to this space or these spaces or to the internet for the purpose of trying to help other men and guide other men into living a better lifestyle, the downside is there's a lot of dudes that are just misguiding you. And they're not doing it because they're not doing it out of malice. They're doing it out of neglect. See, the only thing they care about is their numbers. The only thing they care about is getting views. The only thing they care about is going viral. So they'll pretty much say any damn thing that they think is going to make them go viral, or anything that they think is going to make them be able to increase their internet profile in their persona. They don't really care about telling you what's real. They don't really care about telling you things that's going to really benefit you and make sure that you're able to elevate and change your life. This is the reason why you don't see me having the type of viral moments that you see with the Charleston Whites and all of the other different types of dudes, because I'm actually telling you something that will benefit you. I'm not a character. I'm not a character. I'm not here for the purposes of just trying to be a clown or a buffoon. And at the end of the day, it doesn't make me a difference whether or not we have it doesn't make me a difference whether or not we have 2,000 people watching or whether we got 300 people watching. Angryman gonna be Angryman regardless. Because when it's all said and done, what I want to be remembered about me is I want individuals to say, yo, man, Angryman changed my life. Watching his videos changed my life. Angryman helped me to cultivate my masculinity so that I could be a better man. That's really what I care about. That's really what I care about more than anything. That's what I care about. And it annoys me that there are individuals that come in here that don't care about nothing in order to disrupt the show, try to derail the show, or try to get on some bullshit. And you know what's funny? This is what's so funny. The other day, I was scrolling through YouTube and I was looking for content to watch. And I came across a documentary about King Von. I think it was called Rap's First Serial Killer, something like that, right? Shout out to Earth 2G. Appreciate you. And I'm sitting there looking at the documentary, and I'm looking at them talk about his upbringing and all of those different things. And the thing that disturbed me the most about the King Von documentary is that there was so many things that was said about him that I can identify with. That's what disturbed me about it, right? And so as I'm watching it and I'm listening to them talk about some of the things, you know, he said, and I'm looking at some of his posts and some of his stuff and whatever. And you know what I said? I said, you know what saved me? There's a couple of things that saved me. Because I was, when I was younger, I was really on some shit. I was really on some shit. I was determined that I was going to delete somebody. You know, I hate to say that now, but it's the truth. You feel what I'm saying? But what saved me from going down that path, which is not a good path to go down, because once you go down that path, like you can never turn back. Like, there's certain things that's never gonna, it's never gonna be the same, right? But what saved me was a couple of things. One, I didn't want my grandmother to view me a certain way. I didn't want my grandmother to view me a certain way. And before any of you say, oh, angry man, you capping, blah, blah, blah. There was a time when I was a teenager, I got into it with a dude. And the way the incident turned out was I was standing on my grandmother's porch with a snub nose, getting ready to shoot this dude. And my grandmother came outside and talked me out of doing it. And after that, I felt so horrible about my grandmother seeing me like that, that I kind of pulled back, in addition to me having my first kid. And it was able to save me from, that goofy shit. But there's a lot of you dudes that come in here and you be in the chat room talking shit. And it'd be funny to me. It'd be funny to me because I know a lot of you dudes came up with a good upbringing, a sheltered upbringing. A lot of the things I was worried about at 18 years old, you never experienced and you probably never will experience. But you're running around here trying to prove to everybody that you're a certain thing. And there's a lot of you that are wannabes. This is the reason why I say the whole street culture thing is done. It's finished. Because there's a lot of you dudes running around here, you're a bunch of wannabes. And the reason why I say you're wannabes is because a lot of you do the things you do or you move the way you move out of choice. Out of choice. You're not doing it. You're not doing it because you have no choice. That's the difference. You're not doing it because you have no choice. You're doing it because you're actively choosing to do it. And you don't have to. I was having this conversation with my what was that? I was having that conversation with my wife the other day. And I told my wife, I said, yo, nowadays, these kids don't realize how lucky they are. They don't have no clue. They don't have no clue how lucky they are. I told her, I said, when I was younger, a lot of the stuff I was doing for a couple of reasons. One, it was the only thing I knew because everybody else around me was doing the same thing, if not worse. You feel me? Which is another thing too, because there were people around me that did certain things that was really bad, and I saw the consequences of what happened. Like I got a homeboy, him and his other homeboy got into a shootout at a school, and they threw them under the jail for that shit, right? So I saw a lot of dudes get real consequences for the stuff that they did. But there were a lot of things that was just around me. It was just part of my environment. It wasn't nothing out of the ordinary. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with a lot of the dudes that come up in Chicago, like King Von. Same thing with dudes that come up in, Queens, Brooklyn, Los Angeles, Compton, all of that. When you come up around it and it's just something that's normal, like dudes getting into fights, normal. Somebody getting shot, normal. Somebody going to jail, normal. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want to acknowledge the fact that this has become embedded in our culture. You feel what I'm saying? Matter of fact, hold on one second, y'all. Hold on one second. My bad, y'all. Me and my wife over here on edge because the neighbors are over there firing fireworks, and it sounds like gunshots.
Your call has been forwarded to.
But yeah, like I'm saying, what the fuck was I saying? What was I saying? My bad, y'all. The fireworks, mess with my PTSD a little bit. Um, what was I saying? Yeah, that's what I was saying. They don't really know how good they have it in this day and age. Like when I was younger, a lot of you Gen Xers, you guys know this, right? When we were younger, there was only a couple opportunities you had. If you weren't a person that was able to go to college or had parents that was going to put you through college, there wasn't but a couple of choices for you. You could get some dead end job working at a warehouse or a factory or some shit like that, or you hustled. Those are the two options. If you came from a family that did not have money like that and they couldn't put you through school, because let's be real, by the time we got to high school, they wasn't teaching us about trades and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Hello?
Hey,
Hey, I'm just making sure you're okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I saw the fireworks like out the window. So it's fireworks.
Okay, I'm not one to hear those type of noises and run to windows. Get down, get down.
Yeah, I'm a little different. I hear those noises, they bother me, but I'm going to investigate and see where the noises is coming from.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Make sure my wife is all right. My wife from Queensbridge, so she hears shit like that, she automatically think it's gunshots. I hear shit like that, I automatically think it's gunshots. But this is not the type of neighborhood where there are gunshots. So when you hear something like that, it's kind of it's kind of off-putting, like, what's that? Like, but no, there's a lot of guys that, they don't understand. For Gen Xers, we have very little opportunity. And in this day and age, you got nothing but opportunity. There's so many ways that you can make money today. Like Prodigy said, there's numerous ways you could choose to earn funds. Like it's so many ways for you to make money. So it's to the point now where if you are the type of person that wants to live that street life, unless you come from a really bad neighborhood where it's unavoidable, you're choosing, you're choosing to operate a certain way, like on some Ja Morant type shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. When it comes to stuff like that, like, there's certain things that have not been examined thoroughly the way they should be examined. So it's hard for me to articulate it. Like, I'm mindful now that when I say certain things, it can come off as if I'm promoting certain things. Like, for instance, when dudes come in here and they say little slick shit, right? And I be sitting back thinking to myself, like, bro, I know you not a real one. What do I mean by a real one? I mean in the sense of you're not cut from a certain cloth. Because if you were cut from a certain cloth, the last thing on your mind would be coming to a chat room to talk slick to somebody. Like people that come from a particular background and are cut from a particular cloth, you're either the type of person that's going to be careful with your words, or you the type of person that don't care because you know what type of time you on. But either one of those type of dudes is not going to be in a chat room talking slick to somebody. They're just not. And for me, I've been through too much to entertain that bullshit. If you understand what I'm saying, like I've been through too much. Like, I joke with y'all a lot and I go back and forth and all of that stuff and all of that. But yo, at the end of the day, man, I'm not nobody's chump. Like, seriously, stop coming to my channel playing with me. Like, stop coming to my channel playing with me, man. There's plenty of content creators that you can go play with. Like, I'm not one of them. Like, every time I start a show, there's always somebody that wants to come in here and say some little slick shit. And it really fucking annoys me because in real life, you're not going to walk up to me and say that slick shit. Yo, somebody do me a favor. The person MM that got the laughing emoji, kick him the fuck out of here. What did I say that was funny? Kick him out of here. Yo, shout out to Dark Power. Appreciate it. Shout out to June. He said, for the show. And that's the other part of our culture that's really messed up, right? This is something that I observed as a young man, right? What I observed as a young man is that black folk do not have any respect. You don't have any respect. The only people that I have seen black people respect are the people that can kick your ass or they're willing to murk you. Those are the only people. And that's part of the reason why, as a young man, I was so hell bent on popping somebody, because I knew that in the environment that I was in, that was the only way that niggas will respect you. Otherwise, you got niggas constantly violating and all of that. And see, the thing was, when I was younger, like when I was in grade school and in middle school or junior high, whatever you want to call it, then all you had to do was knuckle up to get your respect, which I did. You feel what I'm saying? But that changed in the 90s. Like going into the mid to late 90s, niggas graduated from these to the guns and the knives and shit. So then it became a matter of, if you was known to back that thing out and freaking start shooting, niggas had more respect for you. You still had to deal with the other dudes that was willing to do that too, but that is what really separated everybody. The vast majority of the dudes would still knuckle up, but there was only a handful of dudes that'll start busting them caps at you. You feel what I'm saying? And even then, there was an even smaller group of dudes that had confirmed kills. You feel what I'm saying? And them dudes was the dudes niggas really didn't play with. You feel what I'm saying? And it's sad. It's unfortunate that that's the way the culture is. And that's why when I see videos about dudes like King Von, a lot of these younger dudes, that's why they're doing it. That's why they're doing it. Because they don't want you to disrespect them. They don't want you talking crazy to them. They don't want you violating and thinking that you can just do whatever you want to do to them. And it's unfortunate that you got to go to that extreme just to get another man to respect you. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's, you know, it's that level of disrespect that's the reason that young man thought it was cool to go up in Bun B's house and put a gun to his wife's head. You know, they sentenced him to 40 years, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. You feel me? Because he putting guns to somebody's head or whatever. Like, guns go off all the time, especially if it's a gun that don't got no hammer. You feel me? Or a gun with a hair trigger. King Master Lord said, fight with your fists, big man. No, nigga. I done did enough fighting in my lifetime. I done did enough fighting in my lifetime. We not doing that no more. We not doing that no more. We playing for keeps nowadays. Shout out to Aaron. Appreciate you. Aaron said, new on locals, as per your Joy Reid discussion video, the Joy Reid and Jesse High Jacksons ain't black. And does America need a Paunchy? I think that's what it says. Yes, a white guy just said that, but for another white guy to say what black is based upon voting Democrat, that seal is already broken. But I have a feeling my saying Joy Reid is the house lady that turned Nat Turner into the sheriff is probably closer to true. Joy Reid in her soul ain't black. Woo! Shout out to Aaron. Appreciate you, broski. Let's see. Shout out to Big Rig. Is that Big Rig? Is that you, Big Rig? Is that you coming through sponsoring the show, Big Rig? I need to know if that's you, Big Rig. I think that's Big Rig right there. You feel me? He said, I'm off for 34 hours. Damn, you must have been grinding. You must have been grinding it out, bro. Let me get this on the board because I definitely appreciate the love, real talk. But yeah, I just wanted to say that briefly. Because even though I know there's knuckleheads out there that ain't gonna listen to nothing I say, you feel me? The only thing that's gonna teach a lot of these knuckleheads a lesson is some jail bars or a hot slug in the ass. That's the only thing that's gonna teach some of these dudes. But I know there's some younger dudes that's listening that's gonna take heed to what I'm saying and avoid all of the foolishness. You feel me? Real talk. But shout out to my man Big Rig coming through, dropping the serious bread. You feel me?
That's that BINO energy.
Shout out to Norman. He said, always keeping it 100. Appreciate you. You feel me? But like I said, man, some of y'all dudes need to grow up for real. Some of y'all need to grow up. Life is too short. Matter of fact, let me not say that. Let me not say life is too short. Because guess what? This is one thing that niggas really don't realize, right? Because you hear that all the time. Life is short. Life is short. Let me tell you something. Life for little buddy that did the home invasion on Bun B, that's about to do 40 years. Life about to be long for him. That's what nobody ever tells you. Life is long when you make mistakes. When you make the wrong mistakes, bruh. Life ain't short. Mess around and get in trouble and have to do a prison bid. Life is not about to be short, bruh. It's about to be long. And I'm going to tell you something about trouble. Trouble is easy to get into, but hard to get out of. All you got to do is make one goofy mistake and it will totally change the trajectory of your life. Think that shit is cool. You out here with your little buddies running around here trying to act like little tough guys and shit, trying to start stuff with people and all of that goofy stuff. Let me tell you something. I got homeboys. I got dudes I know that ain't here no more just because they want to be tough guys. Just because they want to be tough Tony. Like, I'll never forget, I was in grade school and I used to fight, boy. I used to fight. I used to fight all the time. You feel me? I'm talking about if anybody was to look at my record, I got suspensions in grade school, bro. I used to fight so much. All I did was fight. Until one year, I had a teacher, black woman, that didn't play. She grabbed me up by my collar one day, took me out in the hallway, right? And this is what she said to me, and I ain't never forgot her words. I ain't never forgot those words. She said, you can't go through life with a chip on your shoulder. Because no matter how big and bad you think you are, there's always somebody bigger and badder. And they don't have no problem knocking that chip off your shoulder. I ain't never forget it. I ain't never forget it. It made me look at things in a very different way. You feel what I'm saying? Because I was headed to juvenile delinquency. You feel what I'm saying? I was headed that route. I was headed that route. So for you little dudes, man, come up in here and soak up the game and soak up the stuff that's actually gonna help you. And stop showing out, man. Stop showing out, bro. Stop showing out. You said very true, wise woman. Let me tell you something. That woman was, bruh. Didn't nobody play with her. Like, she was the teacher that if another teacher had a problem with her students, she could go get her and she would come to the classroom, and then as soon as she walked in the classroom, everybody fall back. Like, she did not play. She used to tell dudes, she was like, if I catch you sagging your pants, I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna buy some panties and I'm gonna make you wear the panties over top of your jeans. Like, she was, she did not play. You feel me? But those type of teachers don't exist no more, because the teachers ain't allowed to check you no more. They ain't allowed to do none of that. So the kids don't even respect the teachers anymore. You feel what I'm saying? There's a lot of goofy stuff with our country that got to be fixed, man. There's a whole lot of goofy stuff with our country that got to be fixed. But anyway, let's get to the first topic, man. We got to talk about your boy, J. Cole. We got to talk about J. Cole. So I came across this story. Celebrated rapper J. Cole was mistaken for a homeless man and largely ignored by the manager at a Tesla dealership while shopping for a car. A witness who was also at the dealership shared a video of the incident, sparking discussions online about the treatment of J. Cole and the manager's behavior. Bruh, I told y'all J. Cole be looking homeless. And look, I'm not trying to make no excuses for the manager, but she literally tried to shoo him away like he was a homeless person, man. Let me see if I can find this video. Is that the video? Oh, Lord. Did you see her walk over there talking about some, like she was shooing him? She was shooing him.
Regardless of the. I have to pay 8.8 tax difference, right? Correct. Yeah.
And you know what's crazy about it? You know what's so crazy about it? What's so crazy about it is J. Cole is so humble. He probably didn't even say nothing. He probably, because you know how some people, if they famous or whatever, they'll be like, do you know who I am? Like, they'll hit you with the, do you know who I am? You feel what I'm saying? Like, he's so humble. He's so humble that he probably didn't even say nothing. He probably was just like, yo, why you tripping? I'm just looking at the car. Why you like, he probably don't never flex his he don't never flex his celebrity or nothing like that, right? But you know, I think somebody told the manager who he was and all of that. So this presents a very interesting dichotomy, right? So on the one hand, somebody could say, well, you should never judge a book by its cover, right? And just because you think somebody ain't got the bread or don't got the money, blah, 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 you shouldn't be treating them that way. But there's also the other school of thought. The other school of thought is maybe you should present yourself in a better way so that you don't have that problem. Now, me personally, I lean more towards the don't judge a book by its cover. You feel what I'm saying? But there are gonna be people out here that's gonna be like, yo, you gotta stop walking around looking like a bum. You feel what I'm saying? Like, there's some people that's gonna look at it like that. You feel me? King Masterful said, buy it and make sure her co-worker gets the commission for judging appearances. Nah, let me tell you something. If I had J. Cole's level of popularity, that chick would lose her job. Like, I don't play about shit like that. Like, if I had his level of popularity, like Elon Musk would be calling the freaking dealership. You feel what I'm saying? Because like I would put that whole dealership on blast all over social media. Y'all saw what I did with BMW when they was talking about giving Risa Tisa a BMW. You saw what I did, bruh. There's absolutely no way I would let them get away with that shit. There would be no way. And then on top of that, why is he even, could somebody please explain to me why everybody is so interested in that Tesla truck? That thing is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. Can somebody in here let me know what is the appeal of the Tesla truck? To flex? But how can you flex if it's ugly? That's what I don't understand. How can you flex if it's ugly? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to spend that type of money on a Tesla truck. I'm gonna get something that looks nice. You feel me? I'm gonna take that money and go get a G-Wagon or something else, like maybe a Escalade or some shit. Like, you said price flex. And see, that's what's wrong with the world right now, man. I will never buy something simply because it's expensive. It gotta look nice. It gotta look nice. It gotta have some features. You know what I'm saying? Said this new era don't know what style is. Man, you got that shit right. You got that shit right. They just don't know. They just don't know. So, so he went to the dealership. He got ignored by the manager. the person that captured the video, you feel me? The video immediately went viral. But I will say this, like, it's not the fact of him looking homeless. He wasn't looking homeless. He just looked like he was just dressed down. Like, I'm gonna tell you what it was. If we really being totally honest, I'm gonna tell you what it was. It's the locks. That's what it is. It's the locks, bruh. It's the locks. There's a certain level of it's the locks. You feel what I'm saying? Let's see. Hot Boy 95 said, Angryman, you check out Kendrick's speech at Compton College. Drake really made him go back to his hood. Yo, you know what? You know what the funny thing is? Everybody's gonna praise Kendrick for that. Nobody's gonna say, because like when Drake went and did the Canadian song, it's like, wow, Kendrick made him go back and be Canadian. Nobody's gonna say, oh snap, Drake made him go back and plant some money trees. Like, you know, nobody's gonna do that. The only reason why I didn't add that into the show, I'm only bringing it up because you brought it up. The only reason why I didn't add it into the show is because I already know what niggas is gonna say. I already know what they're gonna say. So, you feel what I'm saying? I felt like it wasn't even no point in bringing it up. You feel me? Some of the people were actually discussing whether or not it was race that played the factor in the manager acting like that with J. Cole. And the crazy thing about it, and I thought about this too, I said, yeah, that dealership and Tesla might end up in one of his raps in the future. You feel what I'm saying? But speaking of rappers, I just came across something that was the most egregious crap that I've seen recently with Sukiana. And she's not even she isn't even first person to do this, right? So, for those of you that don't know, Sukiana was on Math Hoffa's podcast. I can't remember the name of his podcast, but I'm like, damn, Math, you really scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point, bruh. Like, you've done some pretty good interviews with some people that people really want to hear from. The fact that you're doing interviews with Sukiana, and it was somebody else he did an interview with, and I was like, why is he interviewing them? But, you know, Sukiana, you know, she did the interview with Math Hoffa, and on the interview, she was emphasizing the importance of parents monitoring their children's media consumption, stating that she does not allow her own children to listen to her music. Basically saying, well, her music is for adults, it's not for children, so she doesn't let her children listen to her music. And wasn't it Young Miami that said the same thing about her music? In fact, let me see if I can find the clip. Let me see if I can find the clip.
I'm in the club, I'm in the crib, I'm getting lit with a joint.
Getting sexy.
Yeah,
You be getting it, man.
So that's
Man,
but as soon as my daughter,
He did?
if I ever see you dance like that, look, as soon as my daughters come around, it's like, Don't listen to that.
Yeah.
Lauren Hill all day.
I'm the same way with mine. I say that as
do
a
the same
father.
thing.
Yeah, I look like letting my kids listen to my music. I'm an adult entertainer, you know. So like, I make like vulgar music, and just like hip hop.
How old is
I wouldn't let my baby.
How old is your daughter?
I don't want to say. I don't talk too much about my babies, but I got a few of them.
Fair enough. Right.
But what I will tell you is, I feel like kids should be kids, and just like I monitor who my kids listen to. I still wouldn't let my kids listen to me.
Right.
Maybe one day I'll make a children's song and they'll listen to that.
Don't listen to that.
Yeah.
Lauren Hill all day.
I'm the same way with mine. I say that as
do
a
the
father.
same thing.
Yeah, I look like letting my kids listen to my music. I'm an adult entertainer, you know. So like, I make like vulgar music, and just like hip hop.
How old is
I wouldn't let my baby.
How old is your daughter?
I don't want to say. I don't talk too much about my babies, but I got a few of them.
Fair enough. Right.
But what I will tell you is, I feel like kids should be kids, and just like I monitor who my kids listen to. I still wouldn't let my kids listen to me.
Right.
Maybe one day I'll make a children's song and they'll listen to that.
If I'm in the club,
There's so much wrong with this. There's so much wrong with this, bro. There's so much wrong with this. So basically, you're telling us that you put out all of this ridiculously vulgar music, and you're telling us that you don't want your children listening to your music, but you're putting the music out there, and you're not slow. You know that other people's children are listening to the music. Not to mention the fact that one of the reasons that Sukiana caught my attention in the first place is she had a video where she was twerking on somebody's kid. I don't know if y'all remember that. She was twerking on a little boy. The little boy couldn't have been no more than 7 years old. So how is it? This is bullshit. This is hypocrisy. This is hypocrisy. In addition to the fact, and it's crazy because it does present a really interesting question. And the question is, who's really at fault? Is Sukiana at fault for making the salacious music? Or is the black community at fault for letting their children listen to the salacious music? And you know what's crazy? I don't even know, like, to me, it's a cop-out because this isn't the 90s. This isn't the 90s where, you know, think about it like this. In the 90s, you could monitor what your kids was listening to. Because the only way they were going to hear that music is in the form of a CD, a record, a tape. They wasn't going to see it on TV. You feel me? Because that type of music that Sukiana puts out wouldn't have got played on BET or MTV or VH1. It wouldn't have been played. The only time that music would have been played is BET Uncut, which is like 3 a.m. when they know kids asleep. You feel what I'm saying? But nowadays, in this day and age where her music is going to be on TikToks, her music is going to be on YouTube, her music is going to be all over the internet, how can she sit back and say, oh, well, my kids, she don't even know if her kids haven't heard her music. She's sitting there saying that, but she doesn't even know if her children have heard. In fact, me personally, I think she's lying. I think she's lying. I don't think a person that is that comfortable behaving the way she behaves and doing the type of music that she does, I do not think that she gives a damn what her kids listen to. I feel like when she's at home, she be playing her music around her kids. I don't care what nobody say. I do not think that she's censoring what her kids listen to. I don't. Because if we're being totally honest, if she was really this person, if she was really the type of person where it's like, yeah, this is not appropriate for children, she would never make that type of music in the first place. Because if you're an artist and you're really mindful of your influence and you're mindful of what you're putting out into the world, and you feel that way, you're not gonna put out that type of music that's readily available to everyone. Shout out to Malika. Malika said, "Angry Man, we don't have a black community. It's a concentration camp for ignorance, mediocrity, debauchery, and arrested development." You got that right, brother. You got that right, brother. Shout out to Arthur. He said, "What happened to my wrench, bro? LOL, keep cooking fast." Oh, we got the first one of the day. We got the first one of the day. Arthur said what? Arthur said what happened to his wrench, y'all? Arthur said what happened to his wrench? Can somebody in the chat please tell him what happened to his wrench? Can somebody please tell him? Please let him know. Put him on the game. Let's see. Viper said, and I'm sure Angryman Valdez is totally from his dad, Valdez. Well, first of all, my dad's name isn't Valdez. Valdez is a nickname. I'm going to need y'all to catch up. Valdez is a nickname. My father's name is not Valdez. Valdez isn't his first name, and it isn't his middle name, and it isn't his last name. Okay. To Arthur Eli, what we do, this is what we do, right? This is what we do. So, occasionally we have issues with people contributing, right? So what I do is I try to provide an incentive for the people that actually contribute. So every once in a while, I do what is called a wrench purge, where I take everybody's wrenches, and then the people that support either get their wrenches back or they get a new wrench. You feel me? Unless you're a person that got the big wrench, which is immune to the purge. So anybody that comes in that drops like 100 or more, I give them the big wrench. That way, whenever I do a purge, they don't lose their wrench. But yesterday, we had a couple of people that lost their big wrenches because they ain't been here in forever. And I ain't crazy. I know they still on YouTube. They just don't come through and check out your boy no more. So that's what happened to your wrench. It wasn't nothing personal against you. It was just pretty much a lot of people lost their wrenches yesterday. Shout out to Norman. He said, that shit looked like a kitchen sink. Yeah, that freaking Tesla truck. Facts. So, Arthur, if you want your wrench back, all you gotta do is hit the Cash App, support the show, bro. You'll get your wrench back immediately. You feel me? He said you didn't survive the purge, homie. Yeah, you gotta survive the purge, man. Viper said, no, I'm not. I'm talking about you. how you talk to us on the show isn't how you talk to your kids. Bullshit. 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 This is exactly how I talk to my kids. This is exactly how I talk to my kids. I don't be sugarcoating shit. I don't be sugarcoating shit. You feel what I'm saying? I don't be sugarcoating nothing. You feel me? Nah, we gonna get to the facts. It is not the responsibility of a father to sugarcoat shit. It is the responsibility of a father to actually say what it really is. You feel me? But yeah, I think Sukiana is capping. I think that her kids either has heard her music from her playing it, or they've heard her music from their friends. You feel what I'm saying? Like there's absolutely no way that she is going to be able to shield her children, even if she was that type of person. There is no way she's going to be able to shield her children from her music and from the city girls and all the rest of it. See, the biggest problem is at what point are we going to stop talking about well, the kids shouldn't be listening to the music? At what point are we going to start talking about the fact that they shouldn't be making that type of music? When are we going to have that discussion? That's the discussion that we need to have. You feel me? Shout out to Jerome. He said, hear me out, AM. I think part of her has a little sense, but acts over top for her career. And that means she ain't got no damn sense. Did that mean she ain't got no damn sense? In my opinion. So basically what you mean is that you're going to jump out here and behave in a way that other younger girls are going to look at. So basically, you're going to get out here and you're going to do all of these things that you don't do in your personal life that's going to be detrimental to their lives. It's no different than the women that you see constantly telling women that it's cool to be single and being married is bondage and servitude, and you know, it's cool to be a single mom, and it's cool to be a single chick running around here messing with all kinds of dudes. Meanwhile, they themselves are married with a family. Like, when are we gonna start calling that out? When are we gonna start calling that out? Like, I'm gonna show you something. Let me pull this up real quick and show you. This is the type of thing we got going on in the black community. You got so many women that have created songs promoting being single, right? Shout out to Tall. He said, you did a big wrench purge and I survived. That's what's up. Good looking out. Appreciate you, bro. So in this day and age, you hear all of these women, you know, on the songs, on the R&B songs, it's talking about all the single ladies, right? You know, all of these songs, right? So you got all of this, and you've literally created a culture of women that either don't want to be married, don't want to be in relationships, or they've been taught these ridiculously high expectations, or they think it's cool to be single, right? And so while they're young, it doesn't matter, right? Like this. So you got countless women that are attractive, that are at the age where they could get the best option because of their youth and their beauty. And they out here bragging about being single. Yay, we single, yay. Because of rappers like Meg Thee Stallion, Sukiana, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, singers like Beyonce, right? Meanwhile, Beyonce's married. You know what I'm saying? Nicki Minaj married. Cardi B still legally married. And the other ones keep a boyfriend. You feel what I'm saying? They might go from boyfriend to boyfriend, but they keep a boyfriend. So you got all of these women out here that legit think the move is to be single. The move is to be single. And I'm telling you right now, because we haven't got there yet, right? We've already witnessed the boomer generation of women that are now older and lonely. And those be some mean individuals, right? Because they were already fed that crap when they were younger. Not as much as this new generation, but enough to where it's funny, because with the boomers, you have this interesting dynamic. You have a combination of the traditionalism that they saw growing up, and then you have the socialization of them being strong and independent. So what you notice with the boomers is most of the women, they'll get married at least once. And then they'll get a divorce, and they might get married again, but they always end up getting a divorce, right? A percentage of them, right? I'm telling you right now, this generation that's running around here bragging about being single because they still young and they still pretty and dudes still give them attention. And for some of them, they just love the attention to be able to brag that somebody showed them attention, right? Prime example.
Tell me why I just landed in Vegas. We here at the airport right now, literally about to go to work. And tell me why it was a dude walking behind me. I don't even gotta say no names, colors, cultures, creeds. Y'all don't know what the fuck going on. He talking about some, damn. Shit. And I'm like, turning around like, God, the fuck? And he like, you beautiful. Can I talk to you? No, we all have flights to catch. We all have things to do. And then that's borderline harassment, talking about stuff. Damn. I'm like, no, you making me feel uncomfortable. I'm just trying to mind my business. Why do y'all do that? Stop doing that. Tell me why I just...
Hey, everybody. I just got validated because somebody told me I was cute. But I don't like when they tell me that I'm cute, but I decided to do a whole stream just to show you that somebody thought I was cute. It is the most pathetic thing I've ever seen in my life. It's pathetic. Because now attention coupled with rejecting the person that gave you attention is the new drug. Right? And so you have all of this going on, right? You got all of this going on, and they think it's cute. They think it's cute. Yeah, if she's telling the truth. But they think it's cute, right? But I'm going to tell you what ain't going to be cute. I'm going to tell you what ain't going to be cute. When they get older and they no longer get attention, and they no longer get looks, and they no longer get offers. I'm telling you right now, you guys are about to see in the years to come, you're going to see something you have never witnessed before in your life. You're going to see something the likes of which it is going to be monumental. There is going to be a large number of women. Look, the statistics have already, they've already did the study. They said by 2040 or 2030, by 2030 or 2040, half of the women in America, half, damn near 50%, are going to be childless and single. And while they're sitting back right now acting like they don't care, it ain't going to be pretty. And I'm going to tell you why it ain't going to be pretty. Because it's going to be y'all's fault. It's going to be y'all's fault. These men didn't want to talk to us. They didn't approach us right. They wasn't up to par. They wasn't what I was looking for. Like it's gonna be so many freaking excuses, bruh. It's gonna be so many excuses. And bruh, look, meanwhile, you got chicks out here like this. You got chicks out here like this.
Why is it that y'all niggas be so temporary? And by temporary, I mean y'all hitting us up or seeing us out and thinking it's just a wham bam, thank you ma'am. No, Bookie, but I'm over 30. I'm not trying to have a wham bam, thank you ma'am. I'm trying to pop out married in another state with a newborn. I'm trying to be a passenger princess and vibing to R&B with my husband. I'm trying to be a whole housewife. Do you hear me? I'm trying.
Ooh-wee. When are you gonna say it's all right, it's all right? Ooh, baby. It's all right now. Keep it right there. Oh my God. Why haven't you learned anything? Like you could literally sit back and see this train wreck coming. You can see it. It's like, hey, man, don't toss that cigarette in that dumpster. Why not? Because you about to have a whole dumpster fire. And look, I'm here to tell you, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm just going to keep it all the way funky. Artists like Sukiana, Sexy Red, Meg Thee Stallion, Glorilla, Cardi B, Lotto, Beyonce, Mary J. Blige, they have led you women to damnation. And you don't even realize it. You don't even realize it. They have led you down the path of destruction. You don't even realize it. Shout out to West Coast Creole. But you know what's different? You know what's different about us men? You know what's different about us? Shout out to the Lucid Experience. He said, I am looking forward to the day hot girl summer is no more. That will be a glorious day. Well, it's coming, bro. In a hot second, the hot girl summer is going to be an old lady winter. That's what's about to happen, bro. The hot girl summer is going to be an old lady's winter. Talk about old biscuits and Geritol. You feel me? I'm talking about 1-bedroom apartments with house cats. You feel me? It's about to be bad. It's about to look crazy out here, bruh. Yeah, they got hoodwinked. But you know what? Here's the thing. Let me say this to the fellas. Let me say this to the fellas. I gotta say this to you fellas, right? Don't you be like these ladies. You see these dudes running around here because they're young, talking about, I'm single, I'm living my life. I ain't never gonna have no woman. I ain't never gonna. Don't you fall for that bullshit, bruh. Don't you fall for that bullshit. I'm gonna be the one person up here to tell you this. There is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting companionship, okay? There is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting a significant other. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. Now, you do have to make sure that you pick the right person to deal with, but bruh, don't you let these single Negroes fool you into thinking that the party ain't never gonna end, because I'm here to tell you right now, it's all good when the strobe light is going. You know, you in there dancing and shit, and the strobe light making you look like you in slow motion, and the drinks is being poured, and the DJ's playing the songs you want to hear, and the women is around twerking, shaking their ass. Let me tell you something. At some point, they turn them lights on, bruh. And I'm going to tell you something that I know for a fact, being a person that used to club. You feel me? When they turn them lights on, that's when it get ugly. You feel me? Nasty work. When they turn them lights on, because I'm telling you, when it's dark in that club, everything look good. When the lights is flashing and the music is playing and it look awesome. But when them lights come on, you feel me? And see, right now, there's a whole lot of young people. Life is like a club to them right now, but the lights is out. The lights is out. They just got the strobe light going. They got the little smoke machine. You know, the DJ playing his music. He got the lights flashing in the background. You feel what I'm saying? Look, hey, it's real, bruh. It's real. You feel me? This is the club. I'm gonna show y'all how the club go down. You feel what I'm saying? This is how the club go down. Where is it at? Give me something. Give me something. Give me something to play. Give me something to play. You feel me? I ain't gonna play the music out loud, but give me something to play. You feel me? This is the club. This is the club right here. You feel me? This is the club. You in that motherfucker? The lights is fucking playing. The lights is dancing and shit. Matter of fact, hold on. You up in the damn club getting it in. When that shit is all said and done, that damn DJ turned them lights on. And he get on that microphone. Hey man, I want to thank y'all for coming out. We had a ball. You feel what I'm saying? We had a blast. You know, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. You feel me? And they done turn the lights on, and you look around, and all the chicks you thought was dimes look busted. And you look down on the floor, and it's spilt liquor on the floor. It's trash on the floor. You got all kinds of shit spilt on your shoes and shit. You feel what I'm saying? You're looking in that motherfucker. You like, damn, man, this shit is played out, bruh. And guess what? Guess what? In life, when you treating life like it's the club, you run out of clubs to go to. You run out of clubs to go to. You feel me? You run out of clubs to go to. There's a whole lot of niggas right now that's young and they treating life like it's a club. But I'm telling you right now, there's gonna come a day when they gonna turn them lights on your ass and you gonna look around and everything you see around you is gonna be busted. You're gonna be looking crazy in the face. And what's worse is when they hit that light, when they turn them lights on your ass. Look, when you went in the club, you was 20. You was 21 years old when you went in the club. You feel me? You was 21 years old when you went in the club. You was 21 years old and you felt like tomorrow was never gonna come. You was living high. You feel me? Niggas passing around blunts, niggas buying bottles, niggas toasting, niggas in there talking about the motto is still YOLO, you only live once, all of that bullshit. And they gonna turn the lights on your ass and you gonna be 40 years old. They gonna turn the lights on, you gonna look around like, man, what the fuck? You gonna be in there with a bunch of 40-year-old chicks with old biscuits. You gonna be like, man, what the hell? What happened to my buns? What happened to the fresh buns? You ain't see nothing but old biscuits, old Popeyes biscuits. You gonna look over, because you know some of them clubs had the mirrors on the wall. You gonna look over there at the mirror, you gonna be like, what the fuck? Yeah, nigga, you 40. You 40. And guess what? If you hit 40 and you still broke, guess which women you gonna have to pick from? If you 40 and you still broke because you spent all your time partying and wasn't getting to the paper, guess which women you gonna have to pick from? No more fresh buns for you, my nigga. It's old dry biscuits. I hope you got something to drink, because you about to be thirsty than a motherfucker with them dry biscuits. That's real talk. I know it's funny, but I'm being serious. Said 40 the new 18. No, the hell it ain't. No, it ain't. And if you think 40 is the new 18, trust me, your knees and your back will remind you. Any of you that think 40 is the new 18, your body will remind your ass that it's not. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. When you get, look, check this out. The Puerto Rican Day Parade is tomorrow. You feel me? I told my wife, I was like, yo, you want to go to the Puerto Rican Day Parade? I said, I can book us a flight right now. This was last night. Last night, we laying in the bed. I said, yo, you want to go to the Puerto Rican Day Parade? I can book us a flight right now. She was like, I said, what about the beach? You want to go to the beach? You know, you gotta do this and you gotta do that. You feel me? No. When you get to, let me tell you something. When you hit 40, let me let you in on a little something, right? Shout out to the lowly one. Said lights pop on and it's gonna look like when homeboy walked into that vampire club in Blade. Facts. Look, let me tell you something. Once you hit 40, right? You get excited about staying at home. you get excited about staying at home? Now, I definitely get excited about staying at home. You know the reason why? I don't care where I go. I can get on a first class flight and go somewhere. I got a 3-day limit. I got a 3-day limit. By the 3rd day, I'm ready to go home. By the 3rd day, I want to sleep in my own damn bed with my own pillow. I want to sit on my own couch and watch my own TV because I don't like people. Okay? And I'm going to tell you the other reason why I get excited about staying at home. Because of the amount of money I pay to be in this motherfucker. That's why. You feel me? See, when you young and you still with your parents, yeah, you want to go everywhere. You want to party. You want to have fun. You want to do all of that shit. But when you get bills, when you got water bill, light bill, rent or mortgage, gas bill, insurance, grocery bill. You want to stay your ass at home and enjoy all of the shit, all the luxuriousness that you've paid for with your blood, sweat, and tears. I don't give a damn about the club. I got liquor at home. I got my own liquor. I got my own liquor. You feel me? And I ain't got to pay extra for it. You feel me? And I ain't got to worry about nobody bumping into me and then I accidentally spill the liquor in the cup. Real shit. And look, don't get it twisted, because in my youth, in my late teens, early 20s, nigga, I partied like a motherfucker. You feel me? I went to clubs, I went to house parties, I went to cookouts, and let me tell you what I used to do. I go out with the boys, we'll go out, it'll be a Friday night. Niggas just got off work, just got their paycheck. We would get off work, leave the job, and go straight to the liquor store. I would get a 5th of Henny, the bottle that can fit in your back pocket. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Any of you niggas out there, this Gen X thugs, you know what I'm talking about. That 5th of Henny that can slide comfortably in your back pocket. You had other homeboys, they would get gallons, and then we would go by the grocery store and get a freaking a case of Heinekens or a case of Coronas to chase that shit, bruh. And it's like, where we going? I don't know, bro. Let's slide by the mall so I can get some gear. Slide by the mall, get some gear, might link up with some chicks or some shit. Yeah, we gonna be out here on the strip later. Make sure you come through or whatever, right? I'm going back to the crib real quick. Your homeboy would drop you off at the crib so you could shower up and get fucking fresh. He'd be like, yo, I'm gonna be back in like 30, 45 minutes. Okay, cool. You go in there, you get fresh. You ain't even in the crib long enough to sit down. Next thing you know what I'm saying? You done got dressed or whatever. Now you sitting, you feel what I'm saying? Now you sitting there, and y'all know how it go. You done got fresh. And now you sitting on the couch waiting for your homeboy to pull up and pick you up. You sitting there fresh in the motherfucker talking about some ready to get lit, ready to turn the fuck up. You feel what I'm saying? You sitting there ready to get fresh, ready to get out there. You feel me? He come scoop you up. Everybody lit. Everybody lit. You find a party to go to, you find a club to go to, you find something to get into, and you get into that shit the whole night. The whole night. Y'all remember the video? the Dre video when he went and scooped up Snoop and they went and partied and shit, and then he dropped Snoop off the next morning when the sun was coming up and he was staggering to the house? Nigga, I have lived that. I've lived it. Pull back up at the crib, pull back up at grandma's crib. I get out the damn car. I'm still drunk. Go in the crib, pass out on the bed with my clothes still on. What wakes me up? The phone ringing. Hey, cuz, I found another party to go to tonight. You trying to come? Hell yeah, bruh. Scoop me up in like 45. You get up, grab you something to eat real quick, hop back in the shower, put you some new shit on, go again. You feel what I'm saying? And if you wasn't able to do that, you was bored. Nigga, I can't party now like that because I don't have the damn energy. I'm sorry. I don't, nigga. There's no way in hell. There's no way. There's no way in hell. And I've had some nights I partied so freaking hard that I didn't go in there and lay in the bed. I was so drunk and so messed up, I staggered into the house, and you feel so sick, you think you're gonna throw up. So you go in the bathroom, you get on your knees and get ready to pray to the porcelain god. You feel what I'm saying? And you sitting right there, your mouth is watering because you're about to throw up and you feel like you're gonna throw up. Your head is spinning and shit. And you're like, oh my God, Lord Jesus, if you just let me just get better, I will never drink like this again. And then what you do, this is what you do. Because the bathroom floor is cold. So what you do is you lay down and you put your face on the bathroom floor because the shit feels so good. And you just lay there in your own filth, shame, and disgust, bruh. Trust me. I done did it. I done did it to the fullest, my nigga. I done did it. I done been in parties and we done got into fights and be hype as hell because we beat some niggas up. Bro, I done did it all. I done did it all. You feel me? But I've even been in the damn car and be so drunk, you just hang your head out the damn window just to get a breeze, just to get some air and shit. You feel me? And be toe up, be laying there half drunk and shit until somebody say, hey man, them niggas seem like they want some drama. What? What? Who wants some drama? Who, nigga? I'll light this motherfucker up, bro. I done did it. You feel me? But at some point, that party gotta stop, bro. Tall said, I remember waking up, pulling money out of my pockets to see how much I partied and how much I got left till my next paycheck. Bruh, that party gotta stop. Eventually, that party gotta stop, bruh. It can't go on forever. It can't. And look, I ain't gonna sit here and say that I regret any of it. I look back on them years and I got a lot of memories and a lot of stuff I can reminisce about and things that I survived, near misses and shit. And like, I got a lot of, I got a lot of war stories. You feel me? But that party can't last forever. That shit gotta stop. That shit gotta stop. You feel me? Shout out to the famous Davis for the membership. And look, let me tell you something. I don't care what none of you young niggas is talking about. Ain't now one of you young niggas partied like Gen X partied. Oh no. No. Y'all didn't party like we partied. I'm sorry. Y'all didn't party like we partied. Y'all didn't party like we partied. You don't even know the half, bruh. Gen X, we the reason that Waffle House got police officers in there on Fridays and Saturday nights. We the reason. We the reason, damn it. We the reason. We the reason, bruh. I done been out partying and shit, and I done had some of the weirdest shit happen to me that you would never believe. I've had the police not even pull me over. Me and my homies that went to the liquor store and got a whole bunch of damn liquor when we was underage. Got this nigga to buy it for us. We passed by the damn police. The police didn't pull me over. We pull into the damn mall parking lot. Park the car. Police officer pull up behind the damn car. All y'all get out the car. We get out the damn car. This motherfucker takes all of our liquor, confiscates the shit. Got us on the hood of the car, checking our pockets and shit. And just as they got us on the hood of the car, checking our pockets and shit, I'm looking back at the cars that's coming through the parking lot. One of the ladies that's married to my freaking older cousin that's in my father's age bracket that go to my church rides by looking. We on the car like this, getting frisked by the damn police. They taking the liquor out the car. She passes by, and I look back and made eye contact with her, and she just passing by like this. Now everybody gonna know about this shit. Bruh, I done been partying and shit, and the police show up to shut down the party, and I had some weed on me, so I'm like, oh shit, here come the police. So I tossed my little bag of weed over in the bushes and shit, right? Police roll up and shit. Cop walks by me, looks me right in the eyes, walks over to the bush, pulls the weed out, comes back and said, yeah, I'm gonna be smoking good on this tonight. So ain't that a bitch? Oh my God, bruh. You have no earthly idea. You feel me? But as a Gen Xer, we knew that party couldn't last forever. We knew, as Gen Xers, we understood we couldn't party like that forever. We knew there was gonna come a time where we was gonna have to chill out, settle down, raise a family, and be normal. You feel me? That was just us being young, getting it out of our system. But in this day and age, y'all think y'all gonna party forever. Y'all think y'all gonna party forever. You're not gonna party forever. I hate to tell you. You can try, but I'm gonna tell you some real shit. There is nothing more embarrassing, nothing more pathetic than being the old nigga in the club. I don't care if you a female or a male. There is nothing sadder than that old nigga in the club thinking he still got it. Your ass ain't got no business in no club. Let me tell you something. When I was younger, I ain't even gonna front. I was in this parking lot, right, of this shopping center. And I don't know what I was doing out there. I probably was out there getting money. Who the hell knows? I'm out there and shit, right? And this Cadillac come cruising through. And I mean, the Cadillac was clean, bruh. I'm talking about cherry red. You could tell he just had it detailed or whatever, right? And he was cruising through, and the shit had a sunroof, and he had the sunroof open. He had all the windows down and shit. And it was one of them old school players. He driving, he got the rings on his finger. You know what I'm saying? He got the pinky ring. He driving. He got on the fit. You know, the old head fit. You feel what I'm saying? You know, that button down short sleeve shirt, that shit that look like it's silk, but it ain't. It's like, you know, it's like that tan shirt, whatever. And he had one of them hats on, you know, the damn straw hat that got the little colorful thing around it. He got the white one and shit, and he got the damn shades on, and he just cruising through there. And over in the passenger seat was his wife that looked like she was in his age bracket, and she had on a sundress, and she had her shades on, and she was just looking cool as hell. And I seen that shit. I said, when I get old, I want to be that nigga. Like, real shit. I said, when I get old, I want to be that nigga, because I know what he doing. I know what he doing. You feel me? He ain't going to the club no more. He ain't doing none of that shit. But you know what he doing? Him and his wife going on cruises. He going to car shows. You feel what I'm saying? He at the family reunion on the grill, cooking out, fucking dancing to fake Frankie Beverly and Maze. Goddamn it, he living. You feel me? Because what y'all gotta understand is there are certain brackets of life that you do certain shit. And I'm here to tell you right now, when you in your damn 40s, you ain't supposed to be in the damn club. Ain't where you supposed to be. You supposed to be on a beach somewhere. You feel what I'm saying? You supposed to be on a cruise. You supposed to be in the casino, my nigga. You supposed to be doing certain things. But the thing about it is, and I'm gonna tell you why a lot of niggas in their 40s still club and shit, right? See, clubbing and all of that young shit, that's cheap shit. You can do that. That's easy to do. That's why young people are able to do it, because it's cheap shit. When you get to your 40s, the shit that you supposed to be enjoying at your 40s costs money. And if you didn't do what you were supposed to before you got to your damn 40s, you can't do none of that shit. You can't go on cruises. You can't go to South Beach in Florida. You can't go to the casino in Las Vegas. You can't do none of that shit because you ain't got no damn money. So what niggas do when they get to their 40s, they still want to party and shit, and they still single and shit. They still up in the clubs trying to relive their younger years. Like, no, nigga. No. Exactly. Grown and sexy. You feel me? Grown and sexy. Geo Black said the 20s went by so fast. It was man, fuck the 20s. Fuck that shit, bruh. I wouldn't want to go back to that shit. I would not want to go back to that shit, especially in this day and age. It sucks to be that age in this day and age if you know what it felt like to be that age in the 90s. Fuck that shit, bruh. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Watch this. I'm gonna show you something. Watch this shit right here. Watch this shit.
Hello?
Hey, I'm in here talking about on the stream talking about how young folks be partying and shit. And I told him, I said, a lot of young folks today think life is a party, and they don't realize that eventually they turn them damn lights on and before you know it, your ass is gonna be 40, and you don't want to be them niggas 40 some years old still in the club and shit. And I said to him, I said, when you get to your 40s and stuff, you supposed to be doing different shit. You supposed to be going on cruises. You supposed to be going to the beach. I said, but a lot of people can't do that shit because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. So by the time they get to their 40s, they can't afford that shit. So they got to do that young shit, going to clubs and shit. And somebody said, man, 20s went by so fast, it's unfair. I said, man, fuck that. I wouldn't want to go, but would you want to go back to being in your 20s?
Hell no. No, I'm good. I have to say no to that one. No, I'm good.
Y'all gotta realize some of us had young kids in our 20s. Like, no. Like, no.
Shit was hard. And it was 2 of them.
Hey man, look, if I go back to my 20s, that's diaper buying years. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no.
I wish that on anybody.
I told these niggas, I said, y'all young niggas, keep listening to these female rappers and all of that shit. Y'all think life is like a club. I said, but eventually they turn them lights on in that club. And when they turn them lights on, it's ugly. It's ugly. And you looking around like, where did the time go, nigga? You better get on point.
Like, even in your 20s, you shouldn't be partying all the time like that. Like, it's cool to go out and have a good time, but you still need to be working and focusing on your future. So when you do turn 40, 50 years old, you ain't just starting.
Exactly. Because that's rough too. That's rough too. When you hit your 40s and you just now trying to get it together. Shit.
Just figuring shit out like that.
Hell no. And that's what be making me mad when we be wanting to do stuff and we know niggas in our age bracket that can't afford to do it.
Yeah, like, well, I can't. I gotta get a babysitter. A babysitter?
Yeah.
What?
Ain't nothing.
For you.
Let me tell you something. Ain't nothing worse than when you want to do a trip. You want to do a trip where everybody go together and you say, well, yeah, we do this trip, everybody put in X amount. Man, I ain't got it, man. I ain't what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, I guess we gonna be going solo.
Everybody looking at the picture, so I'm just gonna live through you. You have to do that then.
Facts.
Like, I'm not gonna not go and not live because you waited till you was 47 to have a baby. Bump that.
All right, I thought you would find that funny. Like, I'm not trying to go back to my damn 20s. I was struggling in my 20s. Fuck that shit.
For real.
Fuck that. That's why when these niggas be on YouTube talking about you an old head, I be like, yep.
I take it.
Yeah, yep, nigga. Hey, guess what? Your ass survived that dumb shit you doing, you gonna be an old head too, nigga.
Exactly.
Shit.
Be grateful.
All right, I'll let you go. Man, there's no way in fuck I would go back to my 20s. There's no way. There's no way. Ain't no way in hell, bruh. Be looking crazy. Niggas be in their 20s partying and shit to distract themselves from that struggle. I don't know why. Because when you get finished partying, that struggle ain't going nowhere. It's going to still be right there. It's going to still be right there waiting on you. So I'm going to tell you what the beautiful thing is, right? This is the beautiful thing. This is beautiful right here, right? Just like I told you, I said last night, I told my wife, I was like, yo, we should go to the Puerto Rican Day Parade. And it was like, nah, let's go to the beach, right? The beautiful thing is when you're in your 40s and you're not stressing about bills and you have the option to go somewhere or stay home. But you got the option. You feel me? You got the option. You could be like, oh, you know, I might spend this money and go on a trip, spend a couple racks on a trip, or I might just stay at home and keep that money in my pocket. You feel me? That's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing. But yo, shout out to my man Tall. He said, any advice on my first cruise I'm planning? No. I don't know nothing about no cruises because I ain't, you know, when I said that about the cruises, I was just speaking in general because that's what a lot of folks do. I don't see myself going on no cruise. You feel what I'm saying? That's just me though. If you like it, I heard they're fun. I heard it's cool. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe one day I might go on one. You know what I'm saying? If it's a cruise that don't go too far out in the ocean, if it just stay right down there in Florida, the Florida Keys and the Bahamas, I might go on one of those. You feel what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. I got this thing about the ocean, bro. You feel what I'm saying? I got this thing about the ocean, man. Plus, because I've never been on a cruise, I don't know if I'm gonna get motion sick. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna get seasick. And I feel like that would be a miserable situation if I go on a cruise and I end up being seasick and shit. You feel me? But I heard they're fun. I heard they're fun. You feel what I'm saying? I heard they, you know, people have a lot of fun on cruises and stuff. But like I said, that's what, you know, that's what the older folks do. That's what, not older folks, that's what the folks in our age bracket do. They go to the beach. They go on, like, this is what me and my wife do. We go to the beach and we go to different attractions at the beach. We go to the nice restaurants at the beach and we be chilling. You feel what I'm saying? And some of y'all know, because some of y'all done bumped into me at Myrtle Beach. There's been a couple times people done bumped into me at Myrtle Beach. You feel what I'm saying? We be chilling. We be chilling, enjoying ourselves. You feel what I'm saying? We be chilling. We be having a good time. Because in your younger days, when you go out partying, you trying to get a high. You trying to get a high from the party, and you're trying to get a high. You're trying to get that high energy, and then in addition to that, you might be trying to meet somebody. You might be trying to meet a chick or whatever, and all of that good stuff. But, and you know, when you party, when you're young, it's you and a bunch of other people, and y'all all going out partying. You're looking for places to go, and you're turned up, and you're trying to get that high energy, and you're trying to meet chicks and stuff. When you get to this age bracket and you already got somebody, you're not looking for a high, you're looking for relaxation. You want to go places where you can relax. You want to go places where you can chill, where you can vibe, where you can just enjoy the fruits of your labor. It's a different feeling. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we went to Miami. That's all we did. We just chill. Man. We chilled on the beach. And yo, it was so relaxing that I was on the beach in the little cabana, and it was so relaxing that I fell asleep, bro. I was done. I was knocked out on the motherfucking beach, bro. But yeah, like I said, the party is eventually over. And don't you let these, and look, the party been over for Nicki. For Nicki Minaj and Beyonce, the party been over. Don't y'all let them fool you. Don't y'all let them fool you. Beyonce going out there dancing her ass off. When she get finished, she go back there, they put them ice packs on her knees and shit, bruh. I'm telling you. Party been over. The party been over. You feel me? But let's get to this topic about Trump. Yes, sir. Shout out to Brian. He said 20s are financially broke years. Yeah, man. I don't know what it's like to be in my 20s and have a decent amount of money. I don't. There was one period of time in my 20s from like 22, no, from 21, from 20 to like 24. There was a period where I had a decent amount of money, so I could do certain stuff. But yeah, those are the struggle years, man. If you getting it out the mud, those are the struggle years. But yo, if you just coming in here, man, hit the like button, hit the Cash App. We want to get to at least 30 contributors. Press 1 if you're going to be one of the 10 people to support the show. Anybody that supports the show through the Cash App right now will get a wrench. So press a 1 in the chat room if you plan on supporting the show. We got to talk about Trump and the ramifications of this this situation with these jurors. So press a 1 in the chat if you plan on supporting the show. Yo, anybody pressing 1 in the chat, make sure you hit the Cash App and support the show. Let's see. Shout out to my man, Famous Davis. He said, you see my super chat and my shadow bet. Nah, bro, you good. I'm about to pull your super chat back up. I'm about to pull your super chat back up. I saw it. I was just too lit. I was too turned up at the moment. My apologies. I got you though, bro. I was too turned up. I was too lit. Let's see. Let me fix it so it'll pop back up on the screen. There we go. Shout out to my man, Famous Davis. Famous Davis said, Nickel. When I was working at Citigroup, I would get off shift, go to Sin City, have Cardi B give me free drinks, get wasted, bribe cops, and end up at Sue's rendezvous only to go back to work the next day. You little niggas ain't ready. Click, clap. Bruh, let me tell you something. These young niggas, they wouldn't have been able to party with none of us. They wouldn't have been able to do it, fam. They wouldn't have been able to do it. They would not have been able to do it, bruh. Like, real talk.
$50 boss up. Hey! Stack up and match up.
Yo, I'm telling you right now, yo, me and my cousins, we used to party like a motherfucker. Me and Iz and his brother, we used to party like a motherfucker, bruh. I'm telling you, it was crazy. Shout out to Most Hated and Underrated. He said, hey, AM, you think they did that on purpose to throw Trump case? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I got my thoughts on it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Anwar. Shout out to Picasso. He said on the West Coast, we love the ocean. And shout out to Tall. He said, appreciate you, bruh. Shout out to Michael. He said, Trump talk. First time supporter. Appreciate you. Shout out to Kenneth. He said, heard about Project 25? No. No. And I didn't really want to go down that rabbit hole. You know what I'm saying? But so I'm pretty sure y'all have heard about the Donald Trump situation, right? So this is what happened, just to give you guys an idea of what took place, just in case. So Judge Juan Merchan alerted legal teams in Donald Trump's hush money case about a Facebook post claiming a juror leak. A user alleged that their cousin, a juror, knew the the verdict in advance. The post, now deleted, raised concerns about potential juror misconduct and its implications for the trial. So evidently the judge saw the post on social media and notified the legal teams about the post. Now, it's obvious why he did that, to cover his behind, right? Like I said, the post claimed that the juror knew the verdict in advance, which we'll get to that in a second, right? So I actually have a photo. I have a screenshot of the post, right? So this is the screenshot of the post. See if y'all can see that. So this person that goes by Michael Anderson said, thank you all for your hard work against the MAGA crazies. My cousin is a juror on Trump's criminal case, and they're going to convict him tomorrow, according to her. Thank you, New York courts. Got the praying hands and the heart emoji. And this person said, well, you just implicated your cousin in a crime if what you say is true. It is against the law for a juror to discuss the case before it had ended. Thank you for shedding light on your cousin's actions. So we don't know if this is a troll or not. We don't know if this is somebody trolling or if this is real, right? But nevertheless, the judge had a responsibility to let them know. So on Twitter, they actually put up the post for everybody to see it. You feel what I'm saying? Let me see if I can get a better view of it. Okay, so this obviously is from Judge Merchan, and it says, Dear Counsel, when did he drop this? On June 7th, so yesterday. Dear Counsel, today the court became aware of a comment that was posted on the Unified Court System's public Facebook page, and which I now bring to your attention. In the comment, the user, Michael Anderson, states, my cousin is a juror, and says Trump is getting convicted. Thank you, folks, for all your hard work. Now, the funny thing about it is, if you notice, he left out the thank you for all your hard work against the MAGA crazies. He left that part out. Why would you leave that part out, Judge Merchan? The comment, now labeled as 1 week old, responded to a routine UCS notice posted on May 29th, 2024 regarding oral arguments in the 4th Department of the Appellate Division unrelated to this proceeding. The posting entitled "The Appellate Division, 4th Department will hear oral arguments this morning at 10, and the comments are both viewable at," they showed the thing, you know, signed yours truly, Judge Juan M. Merchan, Judge, Court of Claims, Acting Justice, Supreme Court. So a lot of people have different thoughts about this. If this is true, we don't know if it's true or not, but if this is true, they would definitely have to declare a mistrial if it's true. You feel what I'm saying? But they haven't verified it. And that's the only thing about it. Now, there are a bunch of different theories. The people that don't like Trump, you know, they're coming up with their theories saying, oh, they're trying to pull a Hail Mary in the last moment to get rid of the conviction. Me personally, I don't think Trump had anything to do with this because he doesn't need that. All he has to do is appeal it, for the simple fact that, you know, there were so many mistakes made in the trial. There were so many things in the trial that you can point to in order to get the shit overturned. So he really doesn't need to do this. Now, on the flip side, is it believable that the jury was talking to people outside of the court about the case? Yes, that's believable, considering that it's Donald Trump. Now, the reason why I say that is because look at the example they're given by these officials. Look at the example that they're given by the courts, by Congress, by all of these different individuals. What's happened is y'all have been running so loose with the law and the rules and stuff that you probably got people that think ain't nobody gonna care. We can pretty much do whatever we want because it's the people versus Trump. We can do whatever we feel like doing, right? That's believable, right? Then, in addition to that, there are some people that are saying, oh, the court or the Democrats are doing this on purpose because they only wanted you to see Trump get convicted. They only wanted you to see Trump get convicted. And rather than have the case overturned in the appeals court, if this gets leaked, then that means if it gets overturned, they can say, well, it wasn't our fault. It was the act of a random juror that wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. You know, this was the act of a bad actor not doing what they were supposed to do. And that's the only reason why it got overturned. That's the only reason why, you know, it got avoided. See, this could be the scapegoat for them knowing that it's going to get overturned through the normal process to turn around and say, oh, it was a fluke. He's still really a convicted felon. That's really what I think it is, in my personal opinion. That's what I think it is. I think that it's the Democrats playing the little games that they always play because they know in the back, it's a chess move, in my opinion. They know in the back of their mind that Trump is going to appeal this all the way to the Supreme Court if he has to, right? And more than likely, it's going to get overturned because they made so many mistakes in this trial. So by having this come out, because you got to ask yourself this question. If Judge Merchan didn't verify that this is real, why put this out there like that? Why put this out there like that? Like, I get him wanting to cover his ass, but why put this out here like that if it's not verified? You feel me? See, I believe that they want to use this as the excuse to say, oh, well, we prosecuted him the way we were supposed to. The only problem is one of the jurors didn't do what they were supposed to do, as opposed to Trump appealing it, winning the case, and then definitively you can't say that he's a felon. You can't say that it was a fluke. You can't say that, oh, he only got off of that with a technicality. You feel what I'm saying? Let's see if we can find some video about this. Let's see what Fox had to say about it.
Welcome back here to Live Now from Fox. I'm Andrew Kraft. Thanks for being with us. We have a major update in the wake of the guilty conviction against former President Donald Trump just last week in his hush money payment trial, found guilty on all 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. What we want to bring to you now, we're getting this news in from a letter that the judge in the case, Juan Merchan, has sent to the relative parties in the case, and this is the gist of the letter. Judge Juan Merchan just sent this letter to the parties, informing them of a comment that was left on the New York State Unified Court System's Facebook page, May the 29th. That's the day before the verdict. The comment reads, quote, "My cousin is a juror," and says Trump is getting convicted. "Thank you, folks, for all your hard work!" Exclamation point ×4. The comment was posted regarding oral arguments in the 4th Department of the Appellate Division, which is unrelated to the case. So I would say, and I think it's safe to say, this is quite significant. According to our sources at Fox, a Trump campaign official telling Fox News Digital, quote, "We are investigating the matter." We're also learning from our sources at Fox the comment appears to be deleted from the Facebook page. A court spokesperson says this to Fox, quote, "As appropriate, the court informed the parties once it learned of this online content." So I want to put up the tweet here of the letter. I have the letter in my hand. Molly Crane Newman, she's a court reporter for the New York Daily News. And that's the quote from the Facebook post. "My cousin is a juror," and says Trump is getting convicted. "Thank you, folks, for all your hard work." All right, we got to bring in Jeremy Rosenthal yet again to talk about this. I'm sure he has lots of thoughts about this. Okay, Jeremy, a lot of people are talking about online this very comment saying, okay, conviction, it's going to be vacated, it's going to be overturned, this was a mistrial, they don't even have to appeal it because of this very comment. Is that accurate? Is that how these things work here?
It's how they begin, and it's, again, kind of talking again about the sweater where you pull the thread. It can turn into that, but there's a long way to go. The law favors finality of judgments, and the law also favors leaving jurors alone and kind of letting them do their service. We want people to show up for jury duty. We don't want them to have to serve in perpetuity, and we don't want them really harassed after the fact. So there are privileges which prevent jurors from testifying. So to be clear, here's the steps that the Trump team needs to take. They need to get to the bottom of this. The judge alerted them to it, didn't have to do that. Very appropriate for Judge Merchan to do that. He alerted the Trump defense team of that and give them enough information to start investigating. They have to get to whether or not this thing is true. And then if it's true, they have to be able to file a motion that's got some legs behind it, that's going to show enough cause to kind of break through some of those privileges that are going to allow the jurors to testify. If there's a leak on that jury and there's some truth to this, then the issue becomes, okay, was there juror misconduct? And did the misconduct result in an unfair deliberations for Mr. Trump. So this is kind of how these things start.
Okay.
They're a long way from making any hay with this, but this is how it goes. And I think we talked about it, right? That in the days and weeks after the fact, this is what we're looking for. We're looking
Right.
for these types of issues. This jury was not sequestered. That was an issue. Maybe this is something, maybe it's nothing. In kind of looking at this issue before you and I talked, I saw Politico report, and it was a very vague report. I'm not them, that it appears that this could be a troll who regularly trolls the New York court systems and their social media. But Donald Trump and his team ought to, and very likely will, very aggressively investigate this.
Okay. Jeremy, I have the letter in front of me. You're saying that Judge Juan Merchan, he didn't have to notify Todd Blanche, Trump's lead defense counsel, and or Josh Steinglass, the assistant district attorney. But he did. But that's not court procedure. He didn't have to do that.
I wouldn't think so, no. The prosecutor has a duty to turn over.
So why did he do it? That's the question. He didn't have to do it. Why did he do it?
Information to a criminal defendant. That information is called Brady information, and I'm sure the viewers are really familiar that that's evidence that shows innocence. This is not Brady information, and the judge is not the prosecutor. So I'm not aware of any duty unless there's a New York statute that requires the court to turn this over, because probably there was a long conversation with the social media folks and the court people deciding, well, what do we do about this, right? Yeah. And the judge says, well, I'm going to send this guy's lawyer something, and I'm going to send the prosecutor the same thing. Yeah. And they're within what's called the time that the court has plenary power, which means that the judgment is not final and the court can still hear this. If we learned about this 2 years from now, it may very well be too late.
All right, Live Now Look there in New York City. We know the sentencing date for Trump is set for July the 11th. But, Jeremy, we're talking about jurors after the fact. The comment implies that a juror said something about what the verdict might be before the verdict was rendered, and I wouldn't even know, how that could happen. I mean, how could that happen? You could have one juror say to their relative, this is how I'm feeling, but they don't speak for the whole jury.
No, that's right. And the jury was still...
Unless the whole jury decided, look, let's not play these goofy ass games. Let's not play these. You see, I'm starting to wonder about Fox News, right? First of all, from the moment that it was time for the jury to deliberate, they could have all decided that first day, yeah, I think he's guilty. You feel me? I think he's guilty. And then be dragging the shit out so that it doesn't look like they're biased. So if one juror says to somebody, yeah, we gonna convict him, you don't know if that juror is not speaking for everybody because you weren't in the room with all of the jurors when they were talking about the shit. This is another one of these instances. It's just like the shit with Fannie, right? Just like the shit with Fannie. When it comes to court and all of that, right? Just the mere appearance of impropriety between Fannie and the special prosecutor, that's enough. That was enough to throw them both off of the case. I told you, they're making new rules for Trump. They're making new rules for Trump. Okay? I'm not saying that a juror said this to their cousin, but just the fact that it's there means that it needs to be looked into. And it really doesn't matter because Trump is going to pursue investigating that in addition to appealing the shit. Talking full blitz. I already know what his legal team about to be on. You feel what I'm saying? But the fact that they're running around here, because like I said, at the end of the day, let's see. Let me see if I can find let's see. Let's see if I can find one of these videos where they're talking about the mistakes. This it?
Joining us now, our legal analysts, Andrew Weissman, former FBI General Counsel and Senior Prosecutor on the Mueller investigation, and former U.S. Attorney Barbara McQuade. So, Andrew, first to you, because you were part of a prosecutor's team, and one of the unusual things that Judge Cannon has done is schedule a hearing on a much litigated and often decided.
Hold on, I don't think that's it. Let me find one. Let's see, is this one it?
This is a reminder that Donald Trump was scheduled to go to trial on federal charges related to illegal retention of classified documents last Monday, May 20th. That trial date has come and gone, and it doesn't seem like trial will be rescheduled anytime soon. And now the Florida federal judge who Donald Trump appointed is once again ruling in his favor in the case. Judge Aileen Cannon denied a motion by special counsel Jack Smith seeking to prohibit Donald Trump from making inflammatory.
There were certainly alternate options that Judge Cannon could have taken here. She certainly could have set a really quick briefing schedule.
Outrageous. I think this is a kind of that. Well, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I disagree with Bradley. I think this is something that is absolutely outrageous. I think this is the kind of thing that is going to be when she ultimately denies when Judge Cannon denies.
No, this is the wrong one. Trying to find. There was a clip that I saw where they were talking about the mistakes that were made in Trump's trial. Let's see, mistakes made in Trump hush money case. Let's see.
So a fast decision, which will obviously reverberate for a long time to come. Let's talk about this with David Frum, staff writer at The Atlantic. David, you just wrote a piece called Wrong Case, Right Verdict. What do you mean by that?
Of all the many criminal cases against Donald Trump, and the civil ones too, the underlying behavior is maybe the least consequential of all the bad things he did. He's accused of trying to overthrow an election by violence. He's accused of masterminding a conspiracy to subvert that same election by fraud. He racked up $500 million in damages for his commercial frauds. He racked up $90 million in damages for sexually assaulting a woman and then defaming her. In 20.
Oh my God. The amount of people that don't like this dude is crazy. And see, the messed up thing is you got the videos. If you look up, this is what's crazy. So if you look up the videos about Trump, they'll only show you the videos that's against Trump. Like, they'll only show you the videos that's against Trump. My bad, y'all. I gotta go through my history to find the video. Let's see. Yo, shout out through the Fire podcast. Said some drive-by support. Appreciate you. Okay, this might be it.
So, Alan, let me pick it up where we just left off with Arthur Aidala and Mark Eiglarsh, where Arthur said, would you please ask Professor Dershowitz how it is that Trump could get this case, if he needs to the U.S. Supreme Court and past what will be a heavily weighted Democrat bench at both levels, immediate appellate and Court of Appeals in New York?
He should make an appeal to the New York Court of Appeals, asking them to bypass the appellate division, because he's not going to get justice in the appellate division. The appellate division are Manhattan judges that are elected, and they don't want to have to face their families and say, we're the judge who will allow Trump to become the next president of the United States. They don't want to be Dershowitz. They don't want to be treated in New York the way I have been treated in Martha's Vineyard and Harvard and New York, because I defended Donald Trump. So they should skip the appellate division, go to the New York Court of Appeals, ask for an expedited appeal. In the meantime, prepare for an expedited appeal in the United States Supreme Court and say that this was a rush to try to get this case a verdict, a conviction before election, and the Supreme Court of the United States has an obligation to review this case before the election so that the American public knows whether or not Donald Trump is guilty or not guilty of these made-up crimes. This is worse than Stalin and Lavrenti Beria. Lavrenti Beria said to Stalin, show me the man and I'll find you the crime. Bragg tried to find the crime, but he couldn't because his predecessor couldn't find the crime, the U.S. attorney couldn't find the crime, the FEC couldn't find the crime. So he did worse than what happened in the Soviet Union. He made up a crime that didn't exist, and he charged a political opponent with it. This will create a terrible precedent for how local DAs will become involved in trying to influence not only local elections, but national elections as well.
Oh, let me ask you a follow-up. Our audience probably knows that you're a famous criminal defense attorney and Harvard law professor, but really you're one of the most famous appellate lawyers in the country. And that's where we are now. So if you had to consult with Team Trump on grounds for appeal, not the everything but the kitchen sink approach, which I know you take, but like your top three favorites in this case, what comes to mind?
Number one is Stormy Daniels. The New York Court of Appeals recently held that the Harvey Weinstein, certainly not a popular defendant, his conviction had to be reversed because the court allowed the introduction of too many salacious other accusations that really had nothing to do with the trial, and also threatened to put in other material if he took the witness stand. So the first thing I would do is try to piggyback on the New York Court of Appeals reversal of the Weinstein case and talk about how he improperly admitted Stormy Daniels, particularly the details, the positions they took during sex, the kind of aftershave he used, the pajamas that he wore, and
the lack of birth control.
Yeah, even more, right, even more if he took the witness stand. That would be number one. Number two, I think, would be the failure to give an instruction on the missing witness. The way the judge and the prosecution handled Alan Weisselberg really denied the defendant the right to a presumption that the only reason he wasn't called was because he would not have corroborated the very important testimony, lying testimony, of Michael Cohen. So those would be the two things. I would also focus on change of venue and the fact that the crime was manufactured. There are so many issues that are good. Even a minor technical issue, the judge closed the courtroom to the public. I was there. I was a witness. He didn't throw me out, but he threw out the media. And, you know, the Sixth Amendment doesn't say partially public trial. It says a completely public trial. So I would emphasize that as well, although it would be hard to show prejudice from that. But there are some, this is a winnable appeal. This is an appeal that a first-year law student could win if the defendant's name wasn't Donald Trump and it wasn't New York.
You know, Megan,
I completely agree with that. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Jump in for 1 second, because I don't know if Alan will remember, but Alan and I and Harvey actually got on a call, and I won't talk about the substance of the call, but it was the Saturday, the Saturday before he got remanded. And I will tell you that when you compliment Alan as being, he's far and away the appellate lawyer for the ages, but he correctly predicted what would eventually happen in that case.
Wow.
Before Harvey went into custody. He went into custody in 36 hours later, but he correctly predicted. Alan's point about the Weinstein reversal, I would go one step farther, because that opinion also said that and excoriated the then trial judge, who's no longer on the bench in New York. He excoriated him for telling Harvey that if you take the stand, this Molyneux evidence is going to come in, meaning the other act's evidence, basically freezing the defendant from taking the stand. This judge, in this case, did the exact same thing. It's almost like he read the opinion and said, I'm going to commit the exact same error in this case with Donald Trump that just got reversed in Harvey Weinstein. It's
and the reason he did it is because he knows the defendant in this case name is Donald Trump, and courts don't reverse convictions of Donald Trump. There's a special law for Donald Trump, which is why I named my book Get Trump. It wasn't my title. That's the title that was devised by Bragg. He ran on that principle. They know, prosecutors and judges know, the law doesn't apply to Donald Trump because the goal is to make sure he doesn't become the next president of the United States.
So here's a little bit of Alvin Bragg, by the way, because now we're all looking forward, not like happily looking, we're looking to the date of July 11th, where sentencing will happen. And prior to then, both parties are going to submit a recommendation on what they think Donald Trump should get. Obviously, the defense is going to want no jail time, and I don't know whether they're going to want any punishment at all. They'll probably say what he's been through already is punishment enough. And the DA, will he recommend jail time? Will this DA, who ran on a promise to get Trump, will he say this man should be put in jail? He was asked about whether he would object to a stay of enforcement if Trump gets a jail sentence at a press conference he held, I think, last night. So in other words, he was asked, okay, if he gets a jail sentence, would you object to staying the jail sentence, while he appeals this and runs for president? And here's as much as Bragg would say in SOT 13.
If a jail sentence is in the cards, it is likely that Trump and his attorneys would seek a stay on enforcement of that sentence pending appeal. If that were the scenario, would your office object to staying the sentence?
I'm going to let our words in court speak for themselves when we get to the sentencing matter. I'm not going to address hypotheticals. They raise arguments, we'll respond, and I think your question really underscores an important point. This is an active, ongoing matter, right? We have other phases of this going ahead. We will continue to do our speaking about this matter, about issues like that.
That's what he said when asked if he would seek jail time, too. Go ahead, Alan.
Let me tell you what I think he's going to ask for. He's going to ask for a jail sentence, a prison sentence of 2 years, but suspended.
Oh.
The fact that he'll impose a 2-year sentence will create a symbol and a message that this is somebody who deserves jail time, but he's going to say he has no prior convictions. So we wouldn't object to a suspended sentence. But I don't think he's going to...
Explain what that means. Explain what that looks like.
A suspended sentence simply means that he was sentenced to prison, but the...
They're basically doing what they do to niggas all the time. All the time. They do this to black men all the time. Black man gets convicted of something. They'll say, okay, we're going to give you 4 years, but we're going to suspend it. And that's just so you'll have a conviction and you'll have that over your head. Like, it's wild. Like, they are literally, what they're doing to Donald Trump is crazy. This man has no convictions. This man does not have a criminal record. And what they're doing is it's amazing. It's mind-blowing.
Judge suspended the sentence and said, I'm going to allow him not to be convicted, but there would be something hanging over his head. It would be like a probationary
Not to be incarcerated.
sentence.
Like I just said, something hanging over his head. I should have took my ass to law school when I was younger.
Yeah, not be incarcerated, but it would send the message that this is a guy who deserves to be in prison for this. I don't think he's going to just say, yeah, just let him go loose with a fine. He's going to do something more than that. Now, the appellate courts, even the appellate division, will stay the sentence. He's not a flight risk. He's not running away anywhere. He's not a danger unless you think his election is a danger. That's not the kind of danger that I think the statute has in mind. So it would be say he's not going to prison pending the election. That I guarantee you.
It's interesting, Alan, because I hadn't thought of a suspended sentence.
They don't need him to go. They don't need him to go to jail. They just need the bad optics. That's all they need. That is all they're looking for is the bad optics, because they know they're smart enough to know that this will sway the opinion of some voters. Dr. Phil had a show where he was asking people about it, right? There were a lot of people in the audience that said they wouldn't care if Donald Trump is a convicted felon. They're still going to vote for him. But there was one white guy in that audience. He asked him, he said, are you a Trump supporter? He said, I voted for Trump the first time. He said, are you going to vote for him now that he's a convicted felon? And the guy said, no. So they know that there is going to be a portion of voters that are going to be like, nah, I'm not voting for him because he got convicted and they were going to give him jail time and all of that stuff. This is really about optics.
Sentence. I had thought maybe 30, 60, or 90 and then stay it pending the appeal. The suspended sentence is interesting because then if he doesn't win the election and he gets convicted in one of the other jurisdictions, would that trigger? I know there's arguments against.
Yeah, because that's the way it works. That's the whole reason why, like, it's goofy, because what they do is they convict you of something and then they tell you, okay, you got 4 years, but we're going to suspend it. So basically what that means is if you mess around and get in trouble again and get convicted of something, then guess what? In addition to whatever sentence, whatever, if you get convicted again and they sentence you, in addition to whatever you got sentenced, they're going to add the 4 years that was already hanging over your head.
But would that trigger the imposition of the sentence? And so that's almost diabolical in the way that it's executed.
As we draw near another critical...
Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. I think the other video I saw was on Megyn Kelly. Let's see.
So
Kimberly B with the laughing emojis. What are you laughing about, Kimberly? What are you laughing about? What are you laughing about? I want to know. Let me in on the joke. Let me in on the joke. I want to know what's so funny. Somebody do me a favor. The people with the laughing emojis, I need to know what's so funny. I need to know what's so funny. I need to know what's so funny. Because if you're laughing at Donald Trump's situation, I'm trying to figure out why you would think it's funny that they can make trumped up charges, no pun intended, on a former president and set that precedent. If they're willing to do that to a former sitting president, what are they willing to do to regular citizens? The devil creates the system, get caught and punished himself. Okay, well, first of all, Trump didn't create the system. So already you sound like a idiot. Okay? Jamal, what are you laughing about? What are you laughing about? See, you wouldn't be laughing about this if you understood what legal precedence is. You wouldn't be laughing. You wouldn't be laughing. If you knew what legal precedence was, you would not be laughing. So I'm going to ask Jamal again. What are you laughing about, sir? Somebody do me a favor. Go back up and find Jamal where he's putting the laughing emojis and boot him out of my chat room, please. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me unhide him real quick. He said, my issue is, why is Trump, knowing what he is up against, continuing this shenanigan? What shenanigan is that? What shenanigan is that? You're unhidden. What shenanigans are you talking about? Do you ever notice that the people that come over here to talk trash, whenever I drop the link, they don't want to come up here and debate me? Shout out to, you said, what was Trump found guilty of? Who you asking? Who you asking? Do you ever notice none of them want to come up here and debate me about this? You ever notice that? Okay, he said, it's like even if he wins, he knows that they will stop at nothing to stop him. Well, the thing about it, Jamal, is some men are actually men. And if they feel like they're on a mission to do something that's right, they're going to stay the course no matter what. See, everybody isn't a coward. Everybody isn't a coward. What's funny to me is all of you people that got all of this smoke. Are y'all really that used to living in a fucked up country that when you had a president that had the country running properly, you hated his guts because the media told you to hate his guts? And now that you actually have a president that's bad for the country, you're still mad at the president that's no longer in office? Like, I would love for one of you never Trumpers to come up here and tell me what Joe Biden has done for this country that was beneficial over the past 4 years. But wouldn't it be better for the country for him to just stop and allow things to play out the way they've been in the past? What are your thoughts on that? You might not have a fucking country if that continues. You might not have a country if that continues. Let me put you on a game about something, Jamal, because you obviously haven't been paying attention. You and so many other motherfuckers haven't been paying attention. Right now, as we speak, the Chinese are buying up farmland that is very close to a lot of our military bases, to a lot of our nuclear reactors. Now, why do you think they would be doing that? See, this is how stupid some of y'all are. Because you've lived in this bubble for so damn long where everything has always been so fucking safe that it never even crosses your mind if it's possible that we could be invaded. There are bigger stakes at play here that you goofy motherfuckers that listen to MSNBC and CNN ain't paying no damn attention to. You're not paying no attention to it. Shout out to the lowly one. He said, remember the film Minority Report. John Anderton was fine with catching people who didn't commit crimes yet. Precedent. The same thing happened to him. Yep. Said Trump allowed it. No, the fuck he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he did not. No, he did not. Notice how you just keep on. Okay, let's say for argument's sake that he did. Let's say that he did. Let's say that he did, SS. So why the fuck don't you have any smoke for the current president that's also allowing it? Let's say for argument's sake that Trump did. Why do you not have any smoke for the current president that's allowing it? This happened under Biden's watch, not Trump's watch. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And that's the funniest thing about it. Every one of you that have an opinion in the negative about Trump, when I start to have conversations with you, I realize you don't have a clue what the fuck you're talking about. You don't have a clue what you're talking about. Now watch this. Watch this. Question. Why do you think you're the only individual who's educated? What has Trump done? Please explain. I explained it yesterday. Matter of fact, this is what I'm going to do for you. I got 5 dimes. What I'm going to do for you is I'm going to drop this link. And you can come up here and have a conversation with me in real time if you feel that strongly about your opinion. There's the link right there. I got 5 on it to hit that link and come up here. Resurrect Mind said, easy. Why did Biden reverse Trump's border policy when he came into office back in 2021? There's the link right there. There's the link right there. See, that's how simple-minded you are. Because I asked you to come up here and have a discussion with me about it. How is that simple-minded? Please explain. Please explain how that's simple-minded. You know what? I'll tell you what. This is what I'll do. I'll do this for your benefit because you obviously lost in the sauce. So I'll break it down for you. First of all, during Trump's run in office, the economy was thriving. Barack Obama said they would never pour steel in this country again, but during Trump's presidency, they started pouring steel again, which brought back a lot of jobs. Not to mention the Keystone Pipeline and other numerous things that Trump did that actually made us energy independent. That's the reason why your gas was so low. Not to mention the prison reform First Step Act that he signed, which basically fixes the problem of mass incarceration created by Joe Biden back in 1994, where people who were actually nonviolent offenders were able to get out of jail early, many of which were black, by the way. Thousands of people got released. 90% of them were black. That's number one. Number two, Barack Obama, when he was in office, he actually took away the allocated money for historically black colleges and then increased the amount of money to universities. But because there are more universities that are not historically black colleges, that meant that the historically black colleges actually ended up getting the short end of the stick, not getting the same amount of money that they used to get. When Trump got into office, he actually increased the amount of money that HBCUs get by $250 million, not to mention the fact that he fixed it so that they don't have to actually apply for it every year. They can only apply for it every 10 years, okay? Not to mention the fact he created opportunity zones, which gave people the opportunity to purchase property and not have to suffer capital gain tax once they sold that property, as long as they reinvested it back into more property. We had one of the lowest unemployment rates since I don't know when. Would you like me to keep going? Would you like me to keep going? Not to mention the tax cuts that Donald Trump actually implemented that helped small businesses, that helped entrepreneurs. Would you like me to keep going? See, I'm not crazy. This is the reason why you didn't want to come up here. You didn't want to come up here because you didn't want to get smoked. This is why you didn't come up here. Now you're quiet in the chat. Why are you quiet in the chat? Why don't you come up here and match everything that I'm saying that Donald Trump did with something that Joe Biden did? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? Okay, I tell you what, I'll help you out. This is what Joe Biden did. The moment that he got in office, he shut down the Keystone Pipeline, which then put us in a position to where we had to depend on foreign oil yet again, which is the reason why the prices for gas went back up. Because of a lot of the things that Joe Biden did in reference to the pandemic, you had a lot of the shipping freighters that were coming in that weren't able to freaking offload their stuff, which means guess what? Now we had the freaking we had the cost of food going up. A lot of the policies that Joe Biden implemented caused the fucking inflation to go up higher. Why? Because you have too much money chasing too few goods. In fact, a lot of the policies that Joe Biden implemented, a lot of the things that he changed that Trump did caused a lot of the problems. Let's not even get into the border crisis down there in freaking Texas. The millions of migrants pouring into this country, many of which have been convicted of heinous crimes recently. We gonna talk about that? Or we gonna talk about the Afghanistan debacle, which cost the lives of American troops? Or maybe we should go into his son bringing cocaine into the White House. Maybe we should go into his son, who currently is supposed to be prosecuted, but nobody seems to be talking about that. Let's talk about how he handled the weather balloon debacle from China that was able to actually come into America and got damn near to the Midwest before anybody decided to do anything about it. So you don't want to talk about what Joe Biden has screwed up. And don't even get me started on his foreign policy. I can go back and show you a video of a Barack Obama official that was part of the Obama administration that will tell you flat out that every single time they had any issue that they were discussing about foreign policy, Joe Biden was wrong every single time. Or should I pull up the video of Barack Obama saying that you can never underestimate Joe's ability to mess up? Barack Obama didn't even have faith in Joe Biden. Joe Biden was his vice president to balance out his ticket. Half the time they kept Joe Biden out of the damn loop because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's had an entire career in politics as a damn failure. Not to mention the fact that he has played a role in some of the most messed up situations you could possibly think of. He was sitting on the freaking committee that actually did not want to confirm Clarence Thomas. He led the charge for that bullshit. And if it were not for Clarence Thomas, we wouldn't even have our Second Amendment rights right now. Not to mention the fact that he drafted the 1994 crime bill, which actually led to mass incarceration in this country and the incentivizing of privatized prisons. America currently is 8% of the world's population, but have 25% of its prisoners. Should I keep going? Should I keep going? Not to mention the fact that he gave the eulogy at a grand wizard of the Ku Klux Klan's funeral, said that he was a good man. Not to mention that he said he didn't want his kids to go to an urban jungle when we were talking about integration. Not to mention every single time he does any type of speech, any type of interview where he references black men who are adults, he refers to them as boys. Let's not forget the comments he made when he said, if you don't know whether or not you're going to vote for me, you're not black. Let's not forget that when he first got into office and the Black Congressional Caucus had a meeting with him, he basically shut them down and told them basically that he ain't got time for them. Not to mention the fact that he told Ice Cube that once he got in office, he would actually have a conversation with him about the First Step Act, which he did not. And I'm not even going to go into the whole Ukraine thing. I'm not even going to go into any of the shit involving him and his son and all of that shit that happened overseas. I'm not even going to go into all of that. Now, she said, keep going. Nah, what we're going to do is this. I'm going to give you exactly 1 minute. I'm going to give you 1 minute to hit that link that is at the top of the chat. And if you have not hit that link to come up here and explain to me why you dislike Donald Trump so much, what he did to this country that was so horrible, and what Joe Biden has done to this country that is so awesome, if you do not come up here and explain that to me in the next 36 seconds, you're going to be banned from my chat room. Shout out to Pickle Stan. Pickle Stan said, wrench purge. Stopping by to show some support. Appreciate you. Shout out to Leia. I think that's how you pronounce that. Said, you need to make a few shorts on these Trump facts. Appreciate you. Oh yeah, not to mention Trump actually pardoned a lot of your favorite rappers. Just happen to be black. Just happen to be black. Oh, Trump is so racist. Yeah, he's so racist that one day they found a black woman squatting in one of the buildings that he owns. And instead of kicking her out, he actually let her continue to live there. He's so racist that one day his limo broke down because it had a flat tire. And some random black guy stopped to help them fix the tire. He had a long conversation with Donald Trump, said he was actually a nice guy. Donald Trump said he appreciated his help and that he wanted to know his address so he could send him something. So after about a week, he gets some flowers with a card thanking him for helping and informing him that he paid off his mortgage. That's how racist he is. He's so racist that he actually funded Jesse Jackson's presidential run back in the day. That's how racist he is. That's how racist he is. He's so racist that the entire hip hop community prior to him becoming president loved his funky draws. And I can show you numerous songs where they referenced Donald Trump in a positive way. He's so racist, I can pull up countless pictures of him hanging out with black people on a regular basis. People that he don't have to hang out with, that he didn't have to hang out with. Because, you know, that's what racist white men tend to do. They tend to spend their free time hanging out with black people when they don't have to. Shout out to the lowly one. He said, y'all talk a lot of junk in this chat, but ain't got no facts. Hit that link. We ain't playing with y'all in here. The country is on the line. Facts. He's so racist that when Jennifer Hudson went through the tragedy of losing her family members, he told her that she could stay at Trump Tower for as long as she wanted. That's how racist he is. That's how racist he is, right? He's such a horrible president that we saw some of the best economic growth that this country has seen in a long time. Meanwhile, you got Joe Biden in here right now, and he is literally Jimmy Carter 2.0. Now, I don't feel the need to sit here and break down the parallels between Joe Biden and Jimmy Carter, but if you actually take the time to do your fucking research and learn something about the country that you actually live in, you'll find out that he's literally Jimmy Carter 2.0. And just like Jimmy Carter, a Republican had to come behind Jimmy Carter and fix all of that bullshit. Shout out to Stan. He said, trying to see if the super chat works just to send you that cash app. You spitting fire tonight. Appreciate you, bro. Who is this?
Oh, snap. Yo, what up, dog?
What's good? What'd you come up here for?
No, I was waiting for them people in chat to jump and Mac Froggy. So, you know.
Nah, they not gonna come up here, bro.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna log off then until they act stupid.
All right, appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
And y'all forgive me as far as my temperament. It's so many people that be wanting to smoke that when y'all come up here, I don't really know if y'all a friend or foe until y'all actually say something. But I appreciate y'all that do come up here to support and give your boy a little bit of backup. But a lot of these individuals, they are sheeple. They only believe what they believe because it's what they have been told to believe. But here's the thing about me, and I done told y'all this numerous times. There's plenty of you that come here that are new to my channel, so you don't know this, okay? I once had a channel that was totally dedicated to politics. Plain and simple. It was called The Street Conservative. So you may come here and you may think, oh, this is just some ignorant nigga from the hood that don't know nothing. Nah, bruh. I know my politics. I know my politics. Like, stop playing with me. In fact, hold on one second. Here's something that I guarantee you don't do. Actually read. American Marxism by Mark R. Levin. Spygate by Dan Bongino. The Long Game by Senator Mitch McConnell. One Man, One Vote. One Vote Away. How a Single Supreme Court Seat Can Change History. Ted Cruz. Stealth War by Robert Spalding. If you don't at least know what those books are about, ain't no need us having no conversation. You can go back to watching CNN and MSNBC and whatever other media outlet that's going to tell you what your opinion needs to be. You got me twisted. Nobody tells me what my opinion is. Not MSNBC, not CNN, not Fox News, not Newsmax, nobody. My opinion is based on my own logic, my own comprehension, my own research. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. I literally had an entire channel dedicated to politics. I told you before Biden got into office what was going to happen. Anybody that has been here long enough, did I or did I not tell y'all that once Biden got into office, he was going to wreck the economy? He was going to make it so that the cost of living was going to skyrocket, inflation was going to go up, and a lot of you folks that are on the lower end of the socioeconomic ladder, you're going to be the first ones to feel it. How many of y'all remember me saying that? How many of y'all remember me saying that? I literally told you verbatim what was going to happen when Joe Biden got in office. And I got another prediction for you. If Joe Biden gets another 4 years in this country, you got to wonder if you're going to have a damn country. He's already caused irreparable damage that it may take 50 to 100 damn years to recover from. Stop coming in here playing with me with your juvenile, elementary understanding of politics and freaking excuse me, politics and geopolitics. Stop coming in here with your weak understanding of it. Most of you that talk all of that trash to me, you don't even understand the Constitution of the United States. You don't even understand the Bill of Rights. You don't even understand your rights. You don't understand the electoral process. You don't understand shit. You treat politics the same way a bandwagon football fan treats the NFL. You wait until the Super Bowl and you pick which team you want to win. Internet Dad, how can I help you?
Oh, no, I just wanted to say that I'm disappointed at the amount of subscribers you have and they're not supporting the show. And that's I agree with you on a lot of things that you're saying. And it's just the fact that people are now pumping you and like you don't got $2 to kick in the can.
Yeah, man, it's par for the course, bro.
Like, Jesus Christ, you don't got $2? You bums. Or listen to this, you bums are listening to this man, and he doing all this entertaining. You're talking about Trump getting us ready to go. And all you doing is not even donating $2. Jesus Christ, you punks. Yeah. So I already did my thing. I already stunted. So let me get off this line right here though. But Internet Dad, Noble Casalupes, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. So yeah. Tomorrow I get paid. So
no doubt, man. I appreciate you, bro. Real talk.
We're gonna put something in the can.
No doubt, fam.
Stop fronting. Like you motherfuckers don't got $5. Jesus Christ, this guy is like, because you're very modest about not asking for money, but cats don't got $2. Like, where you from? Like, what y'all do all day? Anyway, let me get off the microphone because I'm doing too much.
Hey, I appreciate you, bro.
All right, so log me off.
All right, peace. I love it. Shout out to Yvette, said I always got you, big bro. I appreciate you, Yvette. Real talk, man. So look, here's my thing, man. Anybody that wants to, the crazy thing about it is anybody that wants to come over here and have a political discussion with me, you feel me? And I think Jay Jermaine said it earlier, said, yo, Angryman has fell out with people over his political opinion. That's right. There are people prior to the Joe Biden election, the Joe Biden presidency, that I used to be mad cool with. And we're no longer cool. And the reason why we're no longer cool is because we have a difference of opinion on politics. You feel me? And I'm sorry, like I'm not gonna fake it. I'm not gonna sit back and pretend like the Democratic Party is good for this country. They're wilding right now. They are out of control right now. And it needs to stop. They need to get back to a space where they care about making sure that this country is thriving and that this country is progressing instead of their own little agendas. You feel me? But anyway, let's get to this last topic. I gotta talk about the boomers. I was on a show the other night where I was having a discussion with a boomer and we got into it, right? Shout out to Roman. He said, I appreciate your hard work, bro. Salute. Appreciate you. We got into a heated discussion. Part of the problem that we're having in this country is the boomers. Part of the problem that we're having in this country is definitely the boomers. There's a lot of things that they're doing wrong, but there's some things that you guys aren't paying attention to, right? So one of the things is the baby boomers are reluctant to sell their homes. And their ongoing dominance in politics are creating significant challenges for younger generations, like high home equity and a preference to age in place are contributing to a housing shortage, while boomers' political influence stifles progress on issues important to the younger generations. Like this is, I literally compiled a list of issues that we have right now simply because the boomers are such a large group as far as their generation. And a lot of y'all probably don't think about these things. So boomers are holding on to larger homes, which limits the availability of homes for younger families. See, it used to be a time where older folks, when they were empty nesters, in other words, once their children left the home and they no longer needed a bigger home, they downsized. They would freaking retire and move somewhere else, you know what I'm saying, and get a smaller home. They're not doing that now. And the reason why they're not doing that, quite frankly, is because the only claim to fame that boomers have to point to when it comes to their success is their damn house. That's it. That's it. They have nothing else to brag about except their house. So they don't want to let go of the damn house, right? They don't want to let go. So somebody like me, who's younger, who's Gen X, I might want to buy a house. But guess what? If I want to buy a house or buy houses, right? That I could rent out to younger families, there's a shortage of houses. People don't realize this. There's literally a shortage of houses that are being occupied by boomers, right? Who just refuse to I ain't gonna say that, but high mortgage rates and housing shortages also exacerbate this problem. Boomers prefer to age in place, which further reduces home inventory. Okay? Younger generations struggle to compete for affordable family-sized homes. Not to mention, boomers continue to dominate American politics, maintaining significant influence. The reason why you notice a lot of the goofy crap that's going on and things not changing is because, quite frankly, the boomers are dominating politics. They're not just dominating politics in the sense of voting. They're also dominating politics in the sense of occupying congressional seats. Because you know there's no term limit on that, right? Which is another thing that Trump said he was going to do once he got in office. He said once he gets in office, he's actually wanted to present, I think they want to present a bill that actually puts term limits on congressional seats. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to Tracy, said Biden, worst inflation in 40 years, largest decline in real wages in 40 years, highest gas prices ever in the U.S., biggest rise in food prices, crisis level labor shortages, and worst crime wave since the 1990s. Facts, not to mention the border crisis as well. Appreciate you, Tracy. Also, a generational conflict arises as boomers' values clash with those of younger generations. And I told you, there's a lot of things they don't want to update because boomers occupy those jobs. Like, they refuse to update the Postal Service. They refuse to update the DMV. There's a lot of bureaucratic jobs that need to be updated, but they don't, because those jobs are occupied by boomers who refuse to learn new shit. Like, let's just be real about it, right? You got economic policies favored by boomers that have created financial instability for millennials. I'm gonna say that again. There are economic policies favored by boomers that have created financial instability for millennials, right? In this day and age, you have very few millennials that can actually leave their home. They can actually leave their home and go out on their own. We were able to go out on our own and get our own places in our 20s. A lot of these millennials, they can't do it. They can't afford to do it, right? Boomers' political decisions impact social issues, delaying progressive reforms, depending on which ones we're talking about. Some of them I do actually am in favor of, right? Younger generations feel politically disenfranchised by boomer-dominated systems, right? Boomers' prolonged career tenures limit job opportunities for younger workers. I'm going to say that again. Boomers' prolonged career tenures limit job opportunities for younger workers. There is no place that is more evident than in politics, in government, period, right? The fact that you have a senile geriatric man who poops himself at ceremonies as your president is ridiculous. It is beyond ridiculous. The fact that you have people like you got to sit back and think about it like this. We're complaining about the way the country is right now. The reason why the country is the way it is right now is because our country is being ran by senior citizens. Our country is being ran by senior citizens. And if you want to know how bad it is, go over there and look at some of those videos and watch whenever a congressman or a senator actually uses his phone. Look, watch as he looks at his phone with confusion, as if it's some sort of alien tech that he doesn't understand. That will tell you everything you need to know. Shout out to Molly G, I think. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I appreciate you, brother. Environmental and social policies often reflect boomers' priorities over those of younger generations. Younger generations face high student debt and job market instability due to boomer policies. There are a bunch of things, because you gotta think politics is dictated by the biggest voting block. And one of the biggest voting blocks in our country are the baby boomers. And they just refuse to go away. And you know what's so crazy about it? What's so crazy about it now is that when any of the social scientists talk about the boomers, they always talk about the boomers in reference to how the boomers are affecting millennials and Gen Z. You know what that means, y'all? You know what that means? I said it before on this show, and I'm going to say it again. It basically means that Gen X got skipped over. A lot of the jobs and the positions of power, or the occupations that hold the levers of power, are supposed to be occupied by Gen X right now. But they're not. Gen X only makes up a small percentage. It's predominantly occupied by boomers. We should not have anybody in office right now that was in office during Jim Crow. period. Period. Point blank, period. If you were in office when Dr. King was assassinated, you shouldn't be in office right now. And I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're white, black, Latin, whatever. I don't care what your race is. Nobody should give a damn about what Al Sharpton has to say right now. None of them. None of them. Shout out to Aquarian Essence said, been saying for decades, boomers in government with their oxygen tanks who won't go into the light, making things difficult for all generations. Facts. They are literally destroying our way of life, and they don't give a shit. They don't care about the collateral damage. And the reason why is because they're not going to be here. They're not going to be here. When they finally decide, when they're finally no longer in office, whether they retire or pass away, by that time, it'll be time for millennials to run some shit. And the biggest tragedy of America is the fact that Gen X has been skipped over when it comes to taking the reins. We've literally been skipped over. It is one of the biggest, it is one of the most egregious things that has ever happened in this country. Real talk. Shout out to King Diesel. He said Biden supporters have the IQ of chewed bubblegum. Facts. But anyway, I've been on here long enough running my mouth, man. I appreciate every last one of you guys for tuning in. Oh, yeah, by the way, for those of you that don't know, Monday at 7 p.m., I'm going to have Brandon Jamal on the show. Those of you that don't know who Brandon Jamal is the guy that has that got popular for the song Now You're a Single Mom. He's the same guy that was on Fresh and Fit recently that, you know, got into that little back and forth with Fresh and Fit and ultimately left the show, walked off of the show. I've been chopping it up with him behind the scenes. He's gonna come through Monday. I got some questions for him. He's gonna come through to answer some of my questions and some of the questions you guys want to ask about whatever. You feel what I'm saying? So be on the lookout for that. But other than that, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning into the show. It's been real as always. I'ma holler at you guys tomorrow. Shout out to everybody that contributed to the show. Shout out to all of the sponsors. And shout out to the entire BINO Nation. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Deuces.
Spartans! What is your profession?